2 minutes away from action here at Blacktown. Vitally important game in the NEAFL this afternoon. Sydney University taking on the Brisbane Lions. Good afternoon to you. My name's Eddie Summerfield. I'll be with you in commentary today, and I'll be joined by Will Jackson. Will, good afternoon to you, mate. This should be a really, really good game.
Yeah, good afternoon to you too, Eddie. Look, last week each team had pretty tough results. Brisbane very stiff to miss out. Sydney had a pretty hard loss down in Canberra. Apparently the weather was quite cold.
Very cold.
So I think both teams are going to be looking to bounce back. They both played good passages of footy. So let's see what they can string together this afternoon.
Sydney Uni, as you mentioned there, their first loss in ever to Canberra in the NEAFL, going down by 19 points. And heartbreak for Brisbane. They didn't score in the first quarter. We know how bad their first quarters have been this season. But they got back. They led it by 14 points halfway through that last term and found a way to lose.
They did. They had a really strong third quarter, strong premiership quarter. And look, they just got really hard done by at the end. A bit of ill-discipline cost them, and a couple of chances went begging right towards the end. It was a great fight, but again, they'll be looking to really bounce back and make a statement here out at Blacktown.
So, a couple of ins for Sydney Uni this week, a couple of handy ins at that as well. Zach O'Brien, Will Sirakowski and Craig Bird all come in for the students. For Brisbane, Ben Keys, he's a handy in. Keaton Coleman, Connor McFadden, and a guy I'm really looking forward to having a run around playing his first NEAFL game ever today is Tom Fullerton. Now, he, believe it or not, I love this about him, he played for the Brisbane Bullets in the NBL most recently. He's an under-15 All-Australian schoolboys player.
That's right.
In AFL. And he also captained the Australian under-17 basketball team to the World Championship. So really looking forward to see how he goes this afternoon. Will, how do you see this game playing out? Where is it going to be won?
Look, I think it's going to be one wide. I think both teams showed that last week their run and carry was pretty effective. But I personally think Brisbane has got the rubber on them there. They really use the ball in wet conditions at Southport. And if they can do that again with a beautiful dry day, I think they're really going to run away with it.
It is a beautiful game. As I mentioned right at the top, real important game for both of these sides as we run into finals. The students, their form of late hasn't been the best, it'd be fair to say. They've won 2 of their past 3, whereas Brisbane, they've lost the last 6, so they really need to win. Their last win came in May. They're sitting 7th at the moment on the ladder, the Lions, with a 5-7 win-loss ratio. The students, well, they've dropped out of the top 3. They're 4th at the moment, 8-4, 99%. So very important for Brisbane to stay in touch with the 6. And for Uni, if they want to get a top 3 finish.
Look, the Lions, they got a strong list, and sitting outside the 6 right now, I just think they've got a bit more to play for at this point in time. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it folds out. Both forwards are sharp shooters. The backs all do their bit. It's going to be a really great afternoon of football, Eddie.
The ruck battle looking forward to as well. 2 of the form ruckmen of the competition, really. Sam Tagliabue for the students. He's making his way into the middle. He'll be up against Archie Smith, who really held his own when I saw him 2 weeks ago playing against the Sydney Swans here. And it's already a bit of push and shove on in the wing. Jack Hiscock's going at it with Sam Mays. So ready for a start here at Blacktown. It will be Brisbane kicking it to the left-hand side of your screen. Not a cloud in the sky, not a breath of wind. Round 15 of the NEAFL about to get underway. It's the students up against the Lions. The ball's bounced into the turf. Smith won this one down. Pretty good tap. The Lions will get the clearance as it came to Keys. Puts it inside 50. Good kick, good mark. Perfect start. And Toby Wooler will be having a shot about 45 out directly in front.
That's a wonderful kick straight away by Keys. I mean, he's an in for this week. First touch of the footy. Sets up an opponent with a pretty straightforward shot. Bit of distance, but not a bad way to start your match.
You take it every day of the week, a centre clearance like that for your first game back. It's a great tap down by Smith in the ruck as well. So Toby Wooler has kicked 3 goals in his 3 games for the season for the Lions. This will be a perfect start for Brisbane from 40. Drop punt. It will fall short in the square. Students player couldn't mark. Punched away from him. Ball at ground level. Lions desperate. Fend off, don't argue, but the students will get the clearance.
So the ball's come out to the wing now. It's picked up pretty nicely, and he gives a little inside ball. So there's a look up and a bit of a wheel running around. Whistle's been played. Keys gives the ball out. Ball's with Frost. Frost goes inside and another slick bit of running out there. Gives a chip over top. Can't find the opponent. Does in the end, but not on the full. Frost getting involved in the action once again and manages to hand pass into space. And using the width of the field, they're doing so. Kicked inside 50, looking for a target, but not towards the pack. It'll roll out of bounds for a throw-in.
Another player we saw in that passage of play, Casey Voss for the Lions, obviously son of the great Michael Voss. He's playing his second game in NEAFL colours for the Lions this weekend. Playing for Sturt and the Sandful in South Australia. Thought he'd go up north for the school holidays. So a bit of push and shove still going on. So it is the Lions in attack early in this first quarter. The students looking to clear. Under pressure early. Chip kick out of the pack. Carried the 15. It's turned over. And the Lions will have another shot or another chance to set up another scoring opportunity. Doesn't have much to kick to, so just puts it to the hot spot. Bit of a hit and hope. Ball not marked, fisted away. Bailey's there for the Lions. Got an unkind bounce, and the students will look to clear up the wing.
So the ball's going out to the wing again. It's with Derricks. So Derricks is just going to slow things down. He doesn't have too many options as the cavalry start to arrive. Derricks goes a lower ball into space. There's a good bit of chase coming the way of Potter. It's not picked up. He does end up receiving it. So he's just outside 50 and sets up a target wonderfully in Reinhardt, who'll go back. 45-degree angle, 35 out. First real attacking opportunity for Sydney here, so let's see how he goes with it.
Real clean use of the footy up that wing, and Reinhardt real strong hands up forward, so see how he goes.
It's a great lead in. Let's see if he can get some points on the board for his troubles.
So a bit of push and shove going on off the ball, and the umpires pulled a free kick to the Lions. So
that's costly.
Reinhardt probably should have kicked it a little bit earlier, but the students will have to wait for their first shot at goal as the ball came back to Frost. So Frost having a look forward. He had Mays, ignored that, goes a bit longer. Underneath it, Smith did well. He kept his feet, played on quickly, dished off the handball to his running teammate. Eventually came to Stackelberg. Kicks cut off. Stackelberg's second effort, great. Good tackle. How'd the umpire see it holding the ball?
Great bit of defensive pressure there. He made up for it. He just kept on running. So, bit of a turnover. So they've kicked on. They've gone down the left-hand side. Easily finds his teammate, Barkley. So Barkley winds, misses Bell's head by only a little bit. Can't be marked, and it's gone to the ground. They're going to try and run it out here to Sydney. So ball's with Keys. He sends a skating ball into the middle, picked up by Young. Young's having a look. Tries to kick laterally. Out wide. Handball over the top. Goes away, and they're continuing to run down there. Ball's now shoots back inside. Youngs will have another go. So Young's wheels, sends one in towards 50. Unfortunately, turns over. Isn't caught, though, and they're under real pressure here, Brisbane, after that mistake. Basic handling error. Not going to come up with the goods. Hebron under it. Flying snap. The ball's running wide. And it sails through for a behind. So a bit of scrappiness there. Just a pretty straightforward chest mark, and found themselves back under pressure.
Reinhardt getting the snap away there. Just missing to the left. Lions let off the hook after that skill error. So short kick, bit of a risk. Oh, clean bowled. The skipper, Dawson. Lucky he got some fingertips to it. Otherwise, it would have been a turnover to the students. So they'll have another chance in attack. Just the one behind in the first 5 minutes of play. About 30 metres around from the students' goal mouth. Marsh won that one down. Now that came off his shin on the full. Umpire says throw it in.
Joe Marsh, he's doing some relief work now. Is he in the ruck? So it's going to add a bit of interest to that ruck contest, which is already going to be a cracker. We wait for the ball to come in. Marsh and Smith anticipating. Attacking for Uni. Goes up one by Smith. Picked up by Bell. Bell gives a short ball. Down the wing they go, and it's cleared away. Opponent's fallen over. Tagliabue's there, but it goes to ground. Tagliabue gets his hands before he's swarmed by quite a few. Stackelberg and co. Come bounding over. And so the ball will go up again. He's got a bit more work to do here, Archie Smith and Tagliabue.
So half forward for the students. Smith won this one down. Geez, great tap. He bumped it away from Bell as the students go back inside 50 again. Young flew from behind, couldn't mark at ground level. Was Lucy. Kick, Reinhardt shot at goal. Misses to the left. So they're peppering the goal mouth at the moment, the students.
They've got a bit of work to run themselves out of trouble here, so they'll kick long towards Allison's there as it's picked up nicely. But, Hebron right there. He's always around the contest. He's enjoying that. He did really well after a few shoves at him. It was McFadden on the ball. It was. The man's just come in. Tagliabue wins the tap and somehow gets cleared away by O'Brien, but turned over. So Brisbane, look, they got a bit of sun in their eyes, it seems, Brisbane at the moment. So perhaps there's an advantage in the way you're running. So down the side it goes. Bit of arm holding over the top. Game McFadden's picked up nicely. Running is Bastanak. Gives it off to Bailey. Bailey having a run. Wasn't Sloan, but picked up again. He needs to find a target. Shrugs a couple loose and manages to pick up Tom Bell with a nice lateral kick. So Bell looks up. Down he goes. Got leading man. Great running. Turned and goes and having a look. So Sam Mays here will look to create something for the Lions as he hits it inside 50 and shoved out of the way. Tagliabue, no problem. And gives an offload out to his teammate as the ball's not marked. Just inside their own 50 and under a bit of pressure here, Sydney, as they've got a pretty costly turnover. Ball's chipped in, won't count as a mark as he tries to fight off two, sends in towards the pack and picked up nicely from behind. They've still got some efforts here. Sloan will just put it in without a problem in the world. And they don't come any easier than that, do they?
Right place, right time for the Lions. Sloan, pretty scrappy by the students, just clearing it out of defence. They couldn't really hit a target. Lions came back and had a couple of loose players at the top of the square, and Ben Sloan kicks his first and the first goal of the afternoon here. And a bit of relief, first goal in a couple of weeks in the first quarter for the Lions as well. After being held scoreless last week, but they've hit the lead after the students had a couple of chances at one end. So, wait for play to restart. Two teams just still feeling each other out a little bit. Trying to work out how this game's going to unfold. Perfect day here in Blacktown for footy. The ball's bounced on the turf. Tagliabue won it down, but crumbing was Bell. Another clearance for the Lions. High and long inside 50. Who wants it? Could have been a push in the back to Sloan. Umpire let it go. Ball at ground level. And it will be tossed up once again.
It was interesting with the goal before. I think even Sydney thought it was a Sydney defender who was just standing there inside. So up it comes. In came. Ball's cleared by Bastanak. He manages to get a teammate. Feeds it out. Snap quickly was Wooler, but that's going to go out of bounds on the full. So unfortunately couldn't capitalise. It was a good little relief bit of play from Bastanak.
Just couldn't quite get the right connection on the boot to bend the ball back. So saw the students when they had a bit of time a couple of minutes ago. They just couldn't hit targets coming out of defence. Let's see it now with a bit more time, bit of a chance to set up if they can kick through this Brisbane zone. So they're working up the scoreboard wing. High kick to a pack of players. It looked like they all lost it in the sun as it came out the back. And the students, they'll look to run it through midfield. Kick over the top's good. Stevenson underneath it, ran onto it. He's got Young at one out in the square. Right to the hot spot. Young, the experience. Can he mark on the third attempt? No. Out the back off the ground. Picks it up. Dribbler, goal! Tom Young, what a beauty out the back. Didn't give up. Second, third effort, and the students are back in front.
Great bit of play from Tom Young. Started the game down back, found his way forward. He's already got a goal, so did really well in the second effort there. It was a close one. They tried to chase it over, but thankfully gets the 6 points.
Just out of defence. It went to the back of that pack on half back, and waiting out the back, Stevenson, I think it was. The run up the wing was perfect. Young one out in the square, and that's one place where you don't want to be with Tom Young. He's a real smart player.
Casey Voss just taking the field. See if he can have his presence felt. So this is a wonderful afternoon for football. As he said, no clouds, perfect weather. They'll like this, both sides. As the ball, up comes the bounce. Through the air they go. Tapped down by Smith and cleared away inside 50. Bit of a fight, maybe an arm hole, but didn't trouble. Big tackle came the way of Stackelberg. big dominant hit and wasn't going anywhere, so they'll get another ball up. Bell lurking around, seeing if he can get a quick snap away. Smith, good position there, does get it to Bell. Bell tries to feed it out and it goes to ground. Snap away, but he's going to play a free kick by the way of Bell, so decides to wheel around onto his left. It's just inside the goal square, can't be marked. Sydney got a bit of problems here as the ball crashes down. A few players go on top with. They'll be called up. It's going to be a free kick.
Free kick to the students there. Didn't quite pick up what it was for. Perhaps a trip or...
diving in maybe.
Something, yeah, perhaps. As Goulden takes the free kick. Good kick as well. He's got a couple of players here and they can go the give and go. Came out to the running Stevenson. Kicked up the wing. His teammate slipped, but the mark's taken by Lucy. So Lucy looks further afield. Wants to play. Geez, beautiful kick for Foster. He'll mark right on 50. Wants to go quickly. Handball over the top to Hiscox. Hiscox weaves around a tackle. Went backwards. Students deep in the pocket. Reinhard marks. Beautiful mark out in front.
Silver service.
Was. And he'll have to bend this around. It's a real tight pocket. Not much of a run in for Reinhard. So a chance to students to kick two in a row. Snap around the body. Keeps it near side.
Didn't quite get a hold of the football there. Went very low, but wasn't a bad effort. So here comes. Puts up a high ball. It's going to make it past the 50, but a couple of Sydney players. Hebron having a really good run of form in the past few weeks. Hebron, he's picking up bests each week, taking those marks. Not the biggest guy in the pack as he sends one in towards some of the bigger fellas. Ball bounces, it's picked up pretty comfortably. Lucy will put it through with a cheeky left foot snap along the ground. And that's well done. It was all set up by that defensive mark from Hebron. He deserves the pats on the back he's getting. It was a nice little finish as well.
The old chaos ball to the top of the goal square as a defender. It's not something you want at all. Austin Lucy, right place, right time out the back. Vacant goal square, easy goal.
I mean, Lions got one down the other end through Sloane, so it was only fair they had the favour return through Lucy.
One apiece.
That's right.
As we wait for the ball to get back to the middle. It's a 9-point lead for the students at the moment. Very evenly poised game between his two sides. Believe it or not, haven't met yet in 2018 coming into this round after the Lions ended the students' finals hopes and premiership aspirations during the finals last year. As the ball's bounced in the turf again. Marsh won this one down against Smith. Students still looking for their first centre clearance. They don't look like going to get it this time as Bastonak's wrapped up in a tackle, holding the footy.
Tried to spin his way out of trouble, but wasn't going anywhere, so...
Beautiful bit of tackling work from Bird. So Bird told to go now by the umpire. He wants to go long. Bastonak came at him after he was called to play on. Teammate couldn't quite mark. Lions a chance up the wing. They should clear here. Left foot inside 50. Beautiful looking kick. Ballenden out the back. Crashed the pack. Kept his feet. Ball at ground level. Students' defence under pressure. And it's going to be tossed up after Wooller's taken to ground.
Well, who else but Hebron as well. So he's getting involved down every end of the field. Keeping his defensive pressure alive. So Lions with a good chance to score here as the ball comes up. No one really goes for it as it spills out and umpire's not having any of that. There'll be a free kick the way of the students. So gives a nice simple ball into Sarakowski. Decides to spin the other way. Very nicely done onto his left. Out to a running man out wide who puts in a short kick over. He's got a couple of options here. Decides to take a better look at it all. Fires one in towards 50. There's an open man, not a problem. It's like Potter. I think it is. So he's in a great position to score here.
Geez, that was just a little bit too easy for the students going forward. Austin Lucy just hanging out on that forward flank. Real easy. Potter inside 50. He's worrying his opponent down there. Found some space. And further afield from that, they had Young, who was one out. Also a good option.
They plenty. So in comes the kick. Potter kicked one or two last week. Pretty reliable kick at goal. So it comes up off the left, but that's went left, stayed left. So they'll just come away with the 1 point.
Well, no, he's missed the lot.
He's missed everything. Excuse me.
Ooh, won't be happy with that at all. So, Lions, after kicking one about 7 or 8 minutes ago, haven't really been able to lock the ball in their forward 50. Big fly from behind. Hebron again, couldn't mark. Ball at ground level, out of play.
They are using the width, though. It's a very free-flowing game at the moment, Eddie. Each team, nice long hand passes.
And playing, they're not crowding the stoppages too much at this stage. Players staying within their own forward line or defensive 50 as the ball came in. Smith and Marsh missed this one. Marsh then missed the tip out, if you like, at the end as it's volleyed over the top by the Lions. Just trying to work something out, but they can't as it comes to Foster. Put it inside 50. Good defensive work from Allison. Later tackle as well. Umpire circling. And it will be tossed up in the students' forward 50.
Interesting contest, that one just then. They were all over each other. And we can see if Sydney can look to capitalise further and aim to kick their third goal. As the ball comes up, tapped down by Smith and cleared away nicely. It's not going to reach a target, but over the top, Sydney managed to regather. It's turned, it's wheeled inside. He doesn't have the man in front, Derek, so the Lions will continue to run it out through Skinner. Skinner takes a look. He doesn't seem to have anyone leading. Sloane's decided to come forward, but he gets torched as it's sent out to the far end of the ground. Up fly, great mark. Wonderful mark downfield. So a few options staying to open. Pulls one inside by the way of Allison. Allison turning the look. Can't seem to find. Looks like he's going to have to go long here. So up goes Allison towards the top of the 50. Mark not taken, goes to the ground. Line still on the assault here. It's kicked in further inside 50. Little scramble. Smith came over. Barrels his opponent, nearly takes the mark on the chest. He's a bit upset with himself, but Sydney will now have to do the honours of running it out.
Geez, that was courageous by Crockmore. Back in the flight, and Smith cleaned him up. Back up on his feet now as the students, they look to clear out a defence. Reinhard works the 1-2 with Harez. A couple of chip kicks through the midfield have been nice as it comes to Hiscox. Long inside 50. Lucy should run onto it if he gets a good bounce. Can flick the handball over, elects not to. Chip kick over the top. Hiscox kept running beautifully and takes the mark 15 out.
It's incredible running from Hiscox. He started right from the back, kept going, and then the ball was put on the platter for him by Lucy. That's special football.
Lucy, just a smart user then. Could have flicked the handball over the top to Foster, elected to just stop. He knew Hiscox was running down the field, and beautiful mark, and should kick the students' third in a row from pretty much point blank. He's kicked 11 goals in his 11 games this season. You don't miss these ones from here, and he doesn't. Sneaks it in.
Nearly commentator's curse.
Students have got 3 in a row. As we saw there, Austin Lucy again, been involved in a couple of scoring plays for the students. Just that run up either wing at the moment has been outstanding. Real good user of the football as well to find teammates in every situation at the moment. He's had the lead up of Reinhard that he's hit him on the chest, and that time out the front of Hiscox. Beautiful kick.
He's having a day out at the moment, as he said, setting them up, kicking them in himself. If he can continue that work rate up for the rest of the afternoon, I think Sydney will enjoy a pretty happy outing, you'd say. So as the umpire makes his way into the middle, Tagliabue taking that side-on position, trying to out-body Smith. And here comes the bounce. Pitch looks good, nice and bouncy. Perfect, up it goes. Smith gets a superior position, but it's knocked down, can't be cleared. Yes, it is. Keys seems to get his hand on it for Lions. But he's not going to get out of that trouble. There's a swarm of uni players in there for him. So it'll come up again. Up it goes, both shoving. Archie gets it down again and slapped to the ground. Sloane's lurking, but it's cleared away by the students. And onto the ball is a running Reinhard. Didn't quite get it, and they're back on it. Sloane gets the ball out. Mishandled. Bit of danger here, and another gone. Manages to hit a target there that time. Ball's picked up. Uni get the clearance in. There's a Leeds running too. It could be the Brisbane. Overruns it, so Young will have a chance to pick it up. Doesn't quite get there. Lucy involved again, still providing that pressure as it comes out. Looking for Foster, who is lurking around the side, and he goes down with a pretty crunching tackle. And it will be a ball up. So Scrappy bit of play, but they managed to gain some ground.
Liam Dawson, the Lions captain there, playing on Tom Young today, just went the kick off the ground and ineffective. Probably should have bent over to pick the footy up. It's the Students in attack at the moment. They've kicked the last 3 goals of this ball game as Brisbane get the clearance out of defence. Couple of handballs, pressure outstanding again. Foster this time. Ball comes to ground level. Geez, umpire circle. He's going to ping him for holding the ball here, and the Students will have another chance. Great pressure there by, I think it was Tagliabue on top of them all. As the Students go inside 50 again. Kick looking for Reinhardt, couldn't get there in time. The Lions defender did well. He'll get it back before he's tackled by Lucy. Turnover. Here's a chance for the Students to put their 4th goal in a row. Lucy out the back, but the kick misses to the right.
It's another costly turnover from Lions. Nearly resulted in a goal. Had a bit of a open area stroll from me. Chips in. So they'll hold the ball up here. Hinge gives it off. Still inside their own 50 though, so a bit more work to do. Out goes Lions. Lions does well to get the ball to Buick. Buick puts it inside the captain, Beams. So Beams looking around, calling his teammates in, decides to dink one over the top to Sloan. Saw them warming up, they were kicking it to each other there. Replicating that, Sloan goes in towards the top of the goal square. Can't be marked, nearly was, but Students have gone down. Lions have managed to regather. It's on the far side of the field, out with a short ball as a snap comes in. Looking for someone to take control and mark it. Sloan comes in, does come away with it. Off the bounce, gives it to an open teammate, Bell, and he'll chip it to Hinge. So Hinge kicked one from about there. He decides to offload instead to Bastanak. And Bastanak now will get his first shot of the game.
Geez, that was really smart footy. It started with Sloan, just crunched the pack, kept the footy in front of him, handball back, and they could have blazed away 2 or 3 times there, but they kept wanting to find the player in the better position, and that's Bastanak having a shot at goal now.
Bastanak runs it in. Slight wheel, up it goes. It's not looking on line, it's looking away to the right. It's slapped away for a behind, so bit of a shame after such a great piece of play, like you said, Eddie, for them not to come away with the 6 points there.
So Goulden brings it in for the Students. Got a couple of players on this wing. Now let's see what they do here. Can they get a bit of run going? So this is where all of their goals, or most of their goals, have come from thus far. As Lucy brings it back inboard, where Stevenson's waiting. They'll look to complete a cross here, Uni, and they should do with relative ease. Barkley waiting for it at a half-back position. Just stops props, works out what to do to get around the man on the mark. Just playing a bit of chess across half-back as they look for the right option, and here it is. Bit of run and carry off half-back, kick up towards Lucy, marks it in front of his face. He's got Young in the goal square, 1 out, goes that direction now. He'll have to do a bit of work here, Young, but coming in to cut it off is Mays. Couldn't mark. Bit of pressure, Students keep going, handball over the top, cut off by Coleman. The Students still working hard. Ball eventually handballed to Reinhardt. He's tackled by Frost. Umpire calls play on. Ball at the top of the Students' goal mouth. Students a chance. Young picked this one up. Got a cheeky little kick out. Tagliabue back by a hand. Dimmery snap around the body. But it's cut off in the goal square, and the good marks taken by Sloan.
Frantic bit of play from both sides there. Both really desperate to get their hands on and take a bit of a shove. 24 on 24. Barton on Dawson. Gets a knock for his measure, and he clears it out towards a teammate. Picked up nicely. Coleman carving his way through the middle. And unfortunately couldn't back it up with a handball to Stackelberg, but he gets on the end of it regardless. Out goes Beams. Beams takes a bound. He's got a player hunting him in Hiscox. It's going, but unfortunately it was away the right, and it always was. But that was a lovely run through the middle of the park by Coleman.
So the Students bring it in quickly. Hebron, the man in the pocket this time. Has a look forward. He can take a bounce. He's still got a bit of time. Goes back inboard. Good kick. Finds Derricks. Derricks went via hand quickly. They've got players up the wing, but that's a poor kick. Allison marks on centre wing, and he'll get 50. Reinhardt then just overstepping the mark, and Allison will have a chance to kick the Lions second.
It's an unforgiving rule. Truly unforgiving.
Students, and as you've said through the call, Will, they've been frantic out of defence. They've been running it so well today, and that time perhaps they just rushed it a little bit much. Allison all alone on the wing for the Lions, and with a turnover, the Students were desperate to get back and gave up 50. So Jacob Allison, 7 goals in his 8 games coming into this afternoon. Let's see how he goes. Not a breath of wind here today. Put it on the right boot. Beautiful looking kick, but it's to the right-hand side. And the Lions have their 4th behind. Trailed this one by 12 points. Students have kicked the last 3 goals of the ball game.
So Goulden goes straight down the middle to Tagliabue. Hard man to miss. Gets the ball back for his troubles. Goulden now holding. Decides to opt for the handball over the top. Unfortunately can't hit Hebron. It's a shame because he was looking like he was keen to go for a bit of a gallop.
The pace of this game, I just wonder if the students are starting to tire a little bit. Out in the sun, it's warm out there. We were sitting in the sun pre-game just to warm up a little bit, and it was delightful. But after running in it for 20 minutes, I'm sure some of these guys are crying out for quarter time as it's tossed in. Lions attacking end of the ground. They've got players out the back. Geez, they can run through the midfield here. Here's Coleman, underground worm-burning sort of kick. Keys couldn't pick it up as the students, they'll look to clear again out of defence. High up and under, but underneath it is Dawson. Marks it strongly. Wanted to go quickly, but he'll turn it over. Tagliabue, the big fella, picked it up, bent it over, did well. Handballed it off to Lucy. Got a running Potter coming through. He'll take a bounce, look forward, wants an option, and he's got one there in Stevenson. He ran on, off Coleman easily. Runs inside 50, sold a bit of candy, put it on the right boot as he centres up, and he kicks a goal.
Bit of show and go and straight over the umpire's hat.
Beautiful kick there. He didn't want to wait on the mark because he was in a horrible spot to have a set shot. Ran around the Lions players with relative ease, and beautiful kick at goal there, Jackson Potter.
Well, the true great dummies. We really did look for an opponent, went to kick at one, decided last minute to go the other way.
It's a bit of trouble here, the Lions. They kicked the first goal of the game, and now Sydney Uni, they've kicked the last 4, and they hold a handy 18-point lead.
They're just getting a bit run around right now. As you said, perhaps Uni getting tired, but all their efforts are really starting to pay dividends as they're leading by 18 points. 3 goals for their troubles. It's impressive stuff down the sides. Let's see how they go in the middle here as Marsh comes on for a bit of relief in the ruck. So as we await the bounce, and up it goes, flying high. Another great bounce. Punched away by Smith and trying to get onto the end of the Lions as he's tackled from behind. Stackelberg gets the ball up. There's a big opponent there. Bailey gets his hands on, but misses Bell. Goes the way of Stackelberg. It's picked up, and Sydney will run this one out. It's held well by Dawson. Pardon me, no, it's not. But as he continues, Lions have turned it over now, and they'll get a bit of time and space here. Looks for a teammate. Can't get the kick away from great pressure from Sydney. And again, through the middle they're going. So the students send one in towards 50, have a couple of runners, Lucy included. Young, possibly taken high. Frost is ignored by the umpire, and he clears it away so they can recharge and go again, the Lions.
So Lions up the wing. They'll just slow things down there, Will. They're just easing things up. They can see the clock in front of them. They probably don't want to concede another. As the kick goes up towards half forward in front of the scoreboard, fisted away, came to ground level. Lions have numbers here. They just need to get possession, which they eventually do after it's turned over. Skinner got boot to ball, but it's turned over, and the students will have another chance to reload.
So Bartholomew's takes it easily just on the top of the 50. Puts a nice weighted ball out in front of Reinhard. Reinhard has another runner involved there. Working hard, Jack Hiscox takes it for the end of the quarter.
So it's an 18-point lead for Sydney Uni. A frantic first quarter, end to end. Both teams still in this contest. We're going to take a short break here at Blacktown. Hope you're enjoying this on NEFL TV. It's Sydney Uni 4-4 leading at Brisbane 1-4. Sydney Uni leading the Brisbane Lions by 18 points here at Blacktown. Just a quarter time wrapping up at the moment. I'm Eddie Summerfield. I'm joined by Will Jackson this afternoon in commentary. Our goal kickers to quarter time for Sydney Uni. They've kicked the last 4 goals of this ball game, really. Lucy, Hiscox, Young and Stevenson have snagged the goals, and it was Sloane who got a real handy one, kicked the first one of the match off hands for the Lions. Will, how'd you see that first quarter?
Oh, look, it was a fantastic quarter of football. It was really free-flowing stuff. It's pleasure to watch, pleasure to call. Look, both teams have got their pressure on, but the mids in the middle are doing a great job of feeding the ball out. And immediately when the ball comes down from the ruck battles, they're getting the clearances. So it is open, and each team's looking to run and take the game on. Hopefully it doesn't capitulate and we end up with a tight, congested one in the second term.
The Lions, they'll be ruining a few missed opportunities there. 4 behinds, gettable goals as well. Kicked 10 behinds last week, more behinds than goals. So goal kicking, again, an issue for the Lions. We wait for a restart here at Blacktown. Hope you're enjoying this one on Neefle TV. Our partners at Bar TV providing the pictures. Outstanding pitches as well, I'll add. Leon behind the camera today as the ball's bounced in the middle again. Smith and Tagliabue. Smith, geez, great tap. Bird couldn't quite crumb it for the students as the Lions get another centre clearance. Good kick. Good defence, though, from the students as the push came out. Sloane picked it up. He lost it. Went in for a tackle, which was good. And it's Harris wrapped up, and it will be bounced on the Lions' half-forward flank.
It's not bad stuff from the Lions. Thought they were going to take that mark. Ball comes up. Tagliabue wins that one down. Bell off the fly. Manages to get it away. Picked up by Tagliabue and dropped in the middle. Bird lurking. Picked up by O'Brien. Dropped out to Bird. A lot happening in that piece of play, but they'll come away with a free kick, the Lions, in the way of Buick. So Buick wheels onto his left. Sends it to the top of the goal square. Puck goes up. It is taken. And isn't it just? Perfect goal scoring opportunity. They missed a few in the last quarter. So this is the exact type of kick they'd like to kickstart the second term. Yeah,
beautiful mark there from Ballenden. Just a bit taller than all the other players there. That's what you want your big man to do up forward.
So in comes Ballenden, straight forward, drops it onto the boot and kicks it through the uprights. Perfect start for the Lions.
Good goal kicking option, Ballenden up forward. He kicked 10 goals coming into today. So the Lions, similar start to that first quarter. Frantic out of the middle. And first goal of the quarter.
Bit of organised chaos for both sides, especially coming out the back of the Sydney Uni defence line. But the attacking scramble there worked well for them in the same fashion. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Hopefully it stays open.
So wait for a restart. So the lead's narrowed to 12 points. Ball's banged into the turf. We'll call that one back. Bounced on a...
Must be something out there because all the other bounces have been perfect.
Perfect day for it, really. Umpire just does the checks, make sure there's only 4 players from each side in the middle as it's thrown up on this occasion. Tagliabue did his own crumbing, kicked it forward. Bird got a kick underground, nearly inside 50. Geez, beautiful pick up from Stevenson. Shot from 40 out, drop punt on the way is a goal. Geez, that was good from Stevenson to pick that up on the fly. And he's got his second of the afternoon.
Lightning pace, came off a half volley, slapped through by Bird. It was just scintillating. Really fast end to end.
Just what you want from Tagliabue out of the middle. He didn't quite win the tap down, but went searching for the footy. And when it got further afield, Bird, experienced player, just knows you urge it forward, create options inside 50. And Stevenson, right place, right time. Great goal.
You're seeing that from Sydney today. There's a lot of strong second efforts and a lot of really willing follow-up efforts. A lot of runs being played forward. So, again, if they can keep that up all afternoon, they should enjoy it. So here comes the bounce. So the Rucks make their way in. Slapped together at the same time. Hit by Keys. Keys manages to get a clearance away for the Lions and can't be marked. On is O'Brien. O'Brien gets one over the top as it's knocked away and bounces up nicely. Played out wide to Bonnie. So Bonnie sends one towards the left-hand side of his attacking 50. Derricks couldn't get a hold of it, but but it's gone to the ground spilled. Derricks will have a second chance here. Does get a ball out, but it's scrappy. Down was Bird. Bird managed to get one as it's flown to a right-hand boot. Bounces over the top. Was tapped behind. Tom Young couldn't get in front of his man there.
So Dawson to do the kicking in duties again for the Lions. As a look forward, the students have manned off beautifully, so they have to go long to a pack. 3 on 3, back with the flight. Couldn't quite mark this time, could Hebron, as the students again looking for an option inside 50. Wayward handball. Barton will have to go back and pick it up. Eventually got it. She shrugged the tackle beautifully. Drop punt inside 50 is good. Austin, apologies there. Bonnie got one in the back from Lucy, his teammate. Bit of friendly fire. And it will be tossed up again.
Saw Hebron lurking under that pack. I mean, that's how they started their first goal. A big mark from him. Was expecting to see a bit of deja vu, but couldn't quite take it. As it comes up, tapped down by Smith, but it's going to be gathered by Uni before a crunching tackle comes in. It's turned over to Keys. Keys with a nice dashing run out and kicks it long. Not to anyone in particular, but a couple of 34s rang it. Wooler underneath it, can't be gathered. It is in the end. Wooler gets his hands again, but it's going to be called back. Umpire's not happy with what's going on in that contest.
He's plucked out a throw against Clay Beams there. Perhaps had his hand pinged to him. The Lions players thought he got a fist to the ball as the students will look to get it out of defence. Had Hiscox as an option, ignored. Now goes his way in the pocket. Sounding the mark, Bastanak. He'll look further afield. Geez, that's a wobbly kick. And Bell will mark that pretty easily. Former Carlton player in the AFL. Goes short. Good option as it's marked by Fullerton, and he'll get 50. Geez, this is good story, Fullerton. He didn't have a kick in that first quarter. I was talking him up pre-game and had a look at the stats at quarter time, gone, geez, where is he? And he'll have a chance to have a shot at goal from the top of the goal square. First game in Lions colours. What a chance, what an opportunity in your debut game.
Certainly an opportunity to make sure your pre-game talk was worth its salt as well.
So played for the in the NBL for the Brisbane Bullets. Represented Australia at under 17 level in the basketball. Back now playing for the Lions in AFL football, and he's kicked a goal. First goal in the NEFL, and look at them get around him. They've run from, oh geez, Frost is coming from full back to tap him on the head and say, good goal, mate, welcome to the league.
They're getting around him like he snapped one in from the pocket, when the reality is top of the goal square. But it's a goal nonetheless in the NEFL. Something to be proud of for the youngster.
Just what the Lions needed. They couldn't afford to let the students just get a couple in a row. And it's back to a 2 or 13-point ball game.
Archie Smith just made his way off, so it'll be interesting to see who comes in for the ruck relief for the Lions. Now he's out in the middle there, Ballenden. Saw him take that mark before, so I'm sure he's up for the challenge against Tagliabue. And in comes lining up. The bounce to the umpire. The way it goes, it's he's lost his mojo a bit here in the second quarter.
I reckon it's the pitch. They need the roller out. Got through the first quarter. Give it a roll at quarter time.
So up it goes. One down by Tagliabue, but picked up by the Lions. Lions looking to make it count, but goes into open space. Out wide and inward ball. It's picked up again and kicked briefly to Coleman. Coleman gives it out to Bastanak, who puts a nice chip over the top to Ballenden. Ballenden back to Bastanak. All the B's getting involved. As this goes towards the top, it can't be marked. It is picked up by Bell, though. Goes nice ball over the top from him. It doesn't quite get the legs, which is a shame because he was in space. Had the line up pretty nicely, just didn't quite get his foot through the ball.
Probably had a bit more time than he thought then, Fullerton, as the students, they look to work the footy out of defence. This is Potter. Beautiful kick over the top. Found Goulden. He goes over the top to the running Young. Too far out from goal. He's probably a kick and a half away. 2-on-1 situation. Geez, the Lions player stood his ground well, and taking a strong mark there is Hinge. He'll work the footy through midfield. They look more organised this quarter, the Lions. It's Stackelberg in possession. Go through midfield. Geez, risky kick if they can turn it over here, the students. They've got a couple of players lining up, and that's exactly what happens as it went over Bonnie's head. So the Lions have got 4 defenders there. What can they do? Dawson went back to Frost. Frost will break the line, and it came to Hinge. So Hinge just, geez, he's standing on a 50% piece with nowhere to go. He goes back to Dawson. Oh, he's overcooked the kick. Sloan there. Dishes a handball backwards, just hoping. Potter was there for the students. It's frantic footy at the moment. Frost will get it back to Sloan. They haven't moved in the last minute, the Lions, but they've had a squillion possessions. Good tackle from Foster. The Lions still trying to handball their way off this half-back flank. Eventually a kick comes to clear the zone and it will bounce out of play. Didn't know what to do with it, Brisbane, did they?
There was a lot of kicks, a lot of handballs, but not a lot of distance covered. Not by foot, at least. It was plenty of movement with the ball, though. Looked like a training exercise. So good to see it's paying off as the ball comes in. Nice battle there, but won by the Lions and picked up by Bastanak and given shortly to Ballenden. Ballenden puts it out in front of Beams. Can't be taken, but Bell picks up the scraps. In back to Beams. Quick little hand pass, but unfortunately wrapped up and intercepted. Come to students. Over the top, it's intercepted again by Bailey. Bailey drops the ball. Tom Bell looking over the top, but frantically is the key word of the day. Go the students. Kicked on by Hiscox into the path of Dimmery. Dimmery gets the second effort from Hiscox that we spoke through. Galloping through the middle wonderfully from Hiscox. Can't hit a target, and Bonnie, and it's turned over to the Lions. So he'll go over the top. Looking into the middle, receives it back. Sends one launching into the 50. Under it, it's a one-on-one. Became a 2. Lions will get it back. There's a chance for Bastanak here if he can gather over the top. Into the goal square. McFadden kicks it right through the 2 large sticks. 6 points of a pretty interesting piece of play, Eddie.
Lions just worked it beautifully. They had the 3-on-2 situation down at the top of the goal square. They just had to work out how to work a basic triangle, and that's what they did. And McFadden at the top of the goal square did beautifully to be in the right spot to get the handball.
Some crafty handballs starting to come out. A few no looks. Clay Beams pull off a nice little lefty down the side. So, again, we were worried the game was going to close down, but it's, if anything, it's becoming even more open.
So back to 7 points. The Lions, desperate game as we spoke about before the match for their season. They're 7th on the ladder coming into today. 5-7 record. Need a win. They haven't had a win since May as it's put into the turf again. Smith and Marsh did battle. Neither of them won it. Bending over to pick it up. Geez, that was good by O'Brien. Ducked and got a kick over the top, but it's cut off and Buick takes the mark. It goes quickly, and why wouldn't you when you got players lined up like this? Eventually it came inside 50. Beautiful kick. They'll just slowed things down. Short kick into the pocket, and it's punched away from Keys. The students will have a chance to rebound out a defensive 50. Couple of handballs as the footy's pinged long to the wing. One-on-one, Frost used his body well, came back to Dawson. Chip over the top's good. He's got a running player out wide in Coleman. He looks further afield and find Keys. Marking on this occasion unopposed. Has a look forward, just wants someone to give him a lead, but the students have got back well. Eventually he just goes long. Bit of a chaos ball to the hot spot. Big fire from behind, and a strong mark is taken by McFadden again.
Got a chance for 2 in a row here, McFadden. Excellent mark. This one will be a little bit more difficult than the last, but looks an excellent opportunity for him to further claw back and get themselves back into the game.
It's about the 10th person in line for this one. He'll be lining up about 20 out. Just his second game in the NEFL this year for the Lions. For his second goal of the afternoon, and 2 in a row, he's got it. So it's back to a 1-point ball game here at Blacktown with Sydney Uni leading.
Isn't it great for him to get some reward after taking a pretty impressive pack mark? We're all expecting it to come down, but no, he came up with the chocolates and got the rest of it after. So well done to him. 2 goals for the quarter, and they're trailing by 1 all of a sudden.
Just been willing to take the game on a little bit more, the Lions, this quarter. Through the midfield, we've seen them turn it over once or twice, but then their ability to go back, lay a tackle, create pressure, get another turnover, it's just worked out well for them, and the students perhaps a little bit rattled.
I think you said quite rightly before, the Lions are setting up a little bit smarter, a little bit more organised, and it seems to be paying off. So can they continue their organised formation as the Ball's bounced up. Wonderful. He's back into it. Smith gets the tap down and trying to run to his Keys. Keys gets a flying kick. Doesn't quite get it as Potter sends it out wide to O'Brien. O'Brien puts a kick in on the path. Can't be gathered. Well, it is, but he's tackled in the process. Lucy gets the snap away. Hurried. Marsh trying to get onto it, but it'll trail out of bounds by the way of him. But again, using the width of the ground, the open play. Going for a really nice free-flowing affair. So in comes the ball. Big men in the middle. Tagliabue and Smith back on going out. One down by Tagliabue. Picked up by Bird. Not to anyone, but it's gathered. It's paid off. Hiscox lurching. Can't get it. Sloan comes away with it. Dazzling and dashing. McFadden. He'll be keen to get his hands on it further, but it's just run out into touch by the students.
Once again, the Lions have done well, just pushing the footy further afield, getting it out of that troublesome defensive 50.
Playing that territory game.
That's exactly right. And as you said, just getting it to touch to reset. So the ball tossed in. Brisbane's side of the wing. They trail this one behind. Smith took it out of the ruck, had to dish the handball off quickly. Geez, running through the head of steam there was Bell. He goes out of play, and it will be tossed in once again.
Quick bit of soccer skills from Hebron there. Managed a few old lays from the crowd.
So, ball be tossed in. Tagliabue and Smith in the ruck. Far side of the ground. Players taking their breath after what's been a frantic opening half of footy. Tap down. Students looking to clear it from defence. Underground kick. There's plenty of lines there. Buick came charging through, went without it. Handball to Tagliabue's cut off. Lions, oh, that's a throw. Umpire will see it that way too, and the students will have a chance to go forward. Good tackling pressure again from Sydney Uni. And it's Potter in possession. So Potter's short kick's nice. They'll look to move it again. 2-on-1. Tagliabue the target, but coming in front of him was Reinhard. Played on quickly from 55. Kick to the top of the goal square. Lucy again. Beautiful mark. 10 out and will surely go back and kick Sydney Uni's 6th goal.
We saw it quarter time. Lucy had 4 disposals. I think one was a goal, two were assists, and the other was a set up for a goal, which unfortunately didn't go through. So he's had a pretty massive impact in the first quarter, and he'll be looking to make his first impact for the second right here.
It's a beautiful mark, and the students, what we saw when they dominated in that first quarter, they were just running the ball, looking to move it quickly. They did that time. And Lucy should stop this run of Lions goals. Comes in, drop punt on the way. Goal umpire doesn't move. He's kicked his second in a very effective first half of footy.
Teammates happy with him. I'm sure he's happy with himself as well. It was a great kick in with as well. It was a 2-on-1. The other man did well to box the defender out, and Lucy could just take it on the chest. And still a tight angle, so he did well. Very easy to miss, but not a problem for him today. They'll all make their way out into the middle. Lions hopefully look to set up and get that structure back into their players. They've been doing so well. Derricks makes his way back on field.
24 goals this season. Derricks hasn't troubled the scores. Hasn't had a lot of the footy in that forward 50 today. One to look out for perhaps in the second half.
So up it goes. Smith in the bare position, but Tagliabue gets the ball down. It's picked up by the students, but fumbled, regathered. Look at the Hiscox. Foster, quick inside ball, but turned over. Lions now. High tackle, that's right. Will they go quickly? No.
Bit lucky there, perhaps, Bastanak.
Perhaps.
Thought he perhaps ducked into it.
So, short runner in Beams. Coming from Bailey. Nice kick. They're hitting their targets well today, the Lions, as is Sydney. So, Beams will usually be a space and kick to the right-hand side into the 50. Tagliabue and Smith, another ruck battle off the contest. Over the top, nice. Hebron. They'll look to chip their way out, and he's run into a bit of trouble here, but he wheels and sends it out and hits a teammate wonderfully laced out. So over the top it goes. Derricks with his hand on the footy. Too far out to score from here, but hits Young. He continues his run. There might be a chance, but There's only one man back there. Marsh goes short. Nice one to Foster. So Foster probably not going to back himself in from this distance, so goes a little dink over top to the unmanned Marsh. It's a shame about the kick because he was in a perfect condition or position as Coleman bangs down the touch and hits his teammate on the chest, but it's dropped, and that time the kick's a bit more straightforward. So Ballenden on the ball. Inside to Bailey. Bailey's going to look up. Bit more of a scramble. He'll buy himself some time by knocking it to Skinner. So Skinner goes over top to Beams, the danger man. He does have a runner, and does end up using him. Just sun in the eyes, but doesn't trouble Dawson, the captain. The long mullet fraying in the wind. We like to see that, don't we, Eddie, as he sends one out towards the sideline, just outside the 50. Smith, wonderfully outmanned Tagliabue. Has a look up, but sends it in. Nice little bending kick. Will he get in front of it? No, he won't. It'll just go out of bounds. So Smith, after making the kick, will have to... Oh, no, he's not going to jog over. I think he'll maybe let someone else do it for a change.
I think he'll say to Ballenden, you didn't mark my ball. You can go and do the ruck.
Rightly so. A cup of spray after the game between two friends.
So Lions in attack. They've done plenty of it in this second quarter. Trailing by 7 at the moment. Just about to tick into time on. Went over the top of the two ruckmen. Geez, ducking, weaving was O'Brien. Looked nice as the handball came backwards to Hebron. Underground kick. Reinhard bent over, picked it up, dispossessed. Umpire called play on. Hebron again on hands and knees. Umpire circles and it will be tossed up. Dimmery
over the top there. Speaking of Dimmery's grandmother, just before the game, she said she's a big team man, as we're seeing there. Throwing himself onto that like a grenade for his team.
Tossed up again. Tagliabue won this one down. Rushed kick Bastanak from the Lions. Didn't go anywhere. So Mays put it inside 50. High, long to the top of the goal square. 2, 3, 4 grabs. Umpire called play on. It was touched. And he's called mine. Could have been a bit unlucky. I thought that was a mark.
I think that was unlucky. Obviously a bit far away from it, but certainly the first contact and then the last.
Toby Wooler.
So up goes the ball. It's in the attacking for the Lions. Can't be picked up. Tagliabue made a second effort there, but it's picked up, had a chance to snap it through, but a huge swarm of Sydney players. Someone manages to get out of nowhere.
Geez, Ben Keys, I think it was. Beautiful goal.
Number 1. First goal for the game?
Yep.
Not a bad way,
just looking at that setup, and the Lions had 3 or 4 players around that stoppage, all loose. Most of them were on the behind side, but then out the back, Ben Keys, the uni students, they just didn't quite mark up properly. And when the ball bubbled around in there, he just found it in his hands and thought, geez, I'm at the top of the goal square. Might as well kick a goal.
Whoever managed to fish it out for him should get a little bum tap for his efforts as well. It looked like it was going to be held. So good result for Uni as they reclaim the lead and lead by 1. Very even score count on the scoreboard.
Kicked 5 goals this quarter, the Lions, to the students 2. Wait for the ball to be banged into the turf again. This one goes up and down. Smith won it down for the Lions. He went to Crummett, couldn't quite. Bell tried to, he's tackled. Eventually the kick came forward. And the Lions will look to run again. Mays, will he get a kick before he's tackled just? The ball will roll on. Keys looking to run onto it. Should bounce into his hands. Does now. Kept it in front of himself with a little handball. Cute kick back. Oh, he couldn't find his teammate. It'll be turned over, and this could be costly for the Lions. They've got players lining up the field as it comes to the wing. And then there's no one else to kick to further afield. So Derricks looks forward. Eventually kicks it to half forward. Good use of the body by Potter as the footy goes out of play, and we'll get a chance to catch our breaths.
Great use of the body. Shame he didn't get the bounce for his troubles, but I'm sure he'll keep his head up and keep running around. Looks like he's clocked a few kilometres so far this game, Foster. Been up and down the ground. So as we wait for the ball to come in, 2 ruckmen line up. John Marsh in there, the ex-North Shore bomber. Up it goes. Superior position, but won by Smith and hits the ground again, but the students managed to get it out. Will it be turned over? Lovely spinning pirouette to get out of trouble as it's banged onto the left to an unmanned Marsh, who's just under that and perhaps a chance to set up a teammate. Goes the way of hand. Sends it long. Can't be taken, but it's picked up by the students in an attacking position here. Bonnie over the top. Didn't want to go the snap. Gave it off. Sends inside. A couple of runners. Nearly a fantastic march, but Frost will take that, and away they go by way of Stackelberg. Stackelberg sends it. Tried the punch. Didn't come off. Still a bit of pressure, a bit of work to do, but big contact. You can hear that from up here. He might take a bit to stand up. Up he gets, and good on him. That was a really, really big slap for Sarakowski. But he looks okay. He gets the free kick. Really hard. Both teams really committed to keeping this ball in hand. So Sarakowski, it's on the left, up high and long. Derek's under it. Hook it on the chest, but down it went. Over the top is Frost. Can't fish it out. Derek's still there and lobs out to the lines. Coleman gets a ball out and gets a knock on the way through, but he's okay. So out to Stackelberg. Turned over, still chasing. Second effort required. Down it goes and turned over. Running through the middle come the students. It's a nice couple of handballs. Bird out to Bonnie, just the top of the 50 here. Sends a pretty long kick in. It's going, it's through. Wonderful with the play from Bonnie off the ball from Bird. And they extend their lead to 7 points.
Geez, you feel the pressure in this game's just gone up a notch after that big bump on half forward. The students through the midfield, the Lions, they just couldn't quite find each other. And as you said there, Bird just had the smarts, had Bonnie running through. He's a big booming kick, and that was easy as you like.
I think with the nature of the game and the score we're seeing, both team really believes they can win this clearly. So they're going in hard at each other. Probably expect another couple of casualties as the game wears on. Hopefully not, of course, but I think, as you said, the intensity's right up there. We're going to start seeing a bit of contact and action.
So can the Lions reply? They've seemed to do that all this quarter. They trail it now by 7. Ball bounced again. Smith flew high. It was Tagliabue that won the tap down as the ball came back the way of Bastanak. He went backwards. He'll get it back the 1-2. He's got Bonnie charging him down. Weaved around, and eventually they look to work it out, but it's turned straight over. Running through is O'Brien. Weaves around one. Centres up. Straight in front. Drop punt on the way. Misses the lot, and it will be thrown in.
There's a really unfortunate kick there in the middle by the Lions. You could see he lined it up. It just came off the side of the boot, and there happened to be a student right there waiting for it.
So wait for it to be tossed in. And the students get another and consolidate a lead going into quarter time. Ball just fell short in the throw-in. Frost pressure from behind was good. Came out to Buick, I think it was, as the Brisbane Lions look to clear out of defence. Good use of the body and good mark taken by Goulden. Puts it inside 50, but the mark's taken by Frost.
A nice leaping, arms outstretched by Frost. So I'll just dink it over to his left. Just on the pocket. Still inside 50, bit of work to do. Looking for a man, decides to leave the one inside. Would have been daring as he goes long. Bombs away, and a nice mark there. I think it was Ballenden who puts it inside. Smith gives the short handball. Gives over the top, lateral play here, but they decide to go forward. Unfortunately, someone had gone to ground, and Uni are back on the charge. Now it's turned back over, so tit for tat here with turnovers. Allison gets his hands on the pill, taken pretty high, and he'll be taken by Crockmall. They're playing on with the advantage here, though, the students, by way of Potter. Potter just goes to Bird. Was that 15? Umpire doesn't think so. And here's Derricks. He really wanted his hand. Miscommunication there with Lucy, which I think just allowed him to take his eyes off the ball for that split second and just went through the breadbasket.
I think Lucy and Derricks, they just got in each other's way a little bit there. Real chance to lock things up. As the ball's tossed up again, it will come out the back. Stevenson got it, went quickly, bounced out the front. Stevenson gets it back, dished the handball to his teammate Foster. Drop punt misses to the right.
He'll be ruining that. He had all the time, straight shot.
Such a gettable shot from 40 out. Not much pressure on him.
From a spectator perspective, probably for the best if Brisbane can run it down and nearly even things up. So they'll look to do that as he goes for the short tap. Nice shepherd there from Frost, gaining on with the students. Goes up high. Mark looked to be taken by Sloan, but it's gone to ground. Sloan's still under it. It's not going to come out from there. He's got his hands off it. What will the umpire say? He'll just call that a ball up. Nice tackle over the top from the students. Sloane looked to have taken that one, but just last minute came out. Punched away in the direction of Bird. O'Brien's lurking as backup, but the Lions come away with it. Turned over again. Potter gives a ball, sends it in on his left. It's bouncing. Couple of Lions players there, but it's come off the chest. He's got extra work to do now off that. And tackled hard by Potter. It was Lyons, Corey Lyons. Hard ball to take. It really spat out of him from the ground.
So Sydney Uni in attack. This is probably as much time as they've had inside 50 all quarter. They've been pretty efficient once they've gone forward in kicking goals as it's tapped out. Sloane dived on top. He had O'Brien straight with him. And it will be tossed up once again. So the students lead this one by 8 points. They led by 18 at quarter time. Shadows of half time at the moment. Brisbane have played really well this quarter as Sloane dished off the handball. Coming through was Bonnie. He's wrapped up in a tackle.
Big moment here for the Lions defence.
Massive moment.
Don't want to let that. It's late in the quarter now. Taliabu goes to slap it away. Can't be gathered off the soccer. Not sure who it was, but it's relatively effective as it falls in the hands of Hayres. Hayres sends it up. Nice bomb up top. Behind him was Young, but it's going to roll out of his path. Again, attacking position here for Uni. Even more pressure here for the Lions defence as they've lost a bit of ground, and we've seen how quickly they're snapping the goals in this game.
Tell you what, if I'm a Lions defender at the moment, I'm getting goal side and right with my man at the moment. We've seen Bartholomew's just run on. He's all alone at the back of this contest. Smith won it down. Bartholomew's laid the tackle. And it will be tossed up. So, Rising Star winner this week, of course, Bartholomew's. Been really good this season. Played 11 of 12 games for the students. Tossed up. It was Tagliabue that won it down, but the Lions defender did well. Got a clearing kick, but it only came as far as the students' players. They couldn't quite get it inside 50 on this occasion. Lions defence did exceptionally well.
Big part of the quarter here, and it is starting to get congested. Both teams treading on eggshells out there, playing defensively. So it's come up for the two big men. Tapped down by Smith and regathered and cleared. It's turned over to Hebron. Hebron launches into 50. There's a line there. It was Frost. It went over his head. Looking to be gathered and slapped away. Thankfully went the way of his own teammates and Keys. Keys wrapped up. It won't be pinged. Bonnie under it, being slung in the tackle by the Lions. But, oh, bad mark as he spins, tries to dance his way out. And they're going to go by way of hand here. Sloane goes hands on. There's a big tackle coming. He did manage to get out of the way. But underneath it rolls and it can't be put in by Crockmell. So it's slowly dribbled toward goal, but just faded at the end.
Geez, great pressure there from the students. The Lions, they had plenty of possession, but they just didn't have a chance to get that clearing kick out of defensive 50. So a couple of late opportunities for Uni go begging. They lead it by 9 as the kick comes in. Packer players, Sloane got it. Dish the handball backwards. It will work out okay here for Brisbane. Here's a chance. Lions just kicks it over the top. He's got Beams in a paddock. He'll look to move it quickly. Got to get his kick now. 3-on-2 situation. Lions player lost his foot, but a good mark's taken. He can go to the goal square here, Fullerton. Instead, he decides to slow things down and have his shot.
Funny looked earlier. Wooler just continued running there. He was alone temporarily in the square, so
I don't mind that late in the quarter when you're not sure how long's left and you take a mark inside 50. So Fullerton is looking at a basketball career this time last year. Switched over to the Lions at the start of this year. Kicked one with his first kick in the kneeful. And you know what? He's got 2 goals in the quarter and it's back to a 3-point ball game.
And he's living up to your pre-game hype as well now, Eddie. Thankfully, you didn't have to eat your words. 2 goals. Great effort from the kid.
Been really good. Really good up forward. Geez, the Lions, they haven't done much the last 10, 15 minutes of this game. Suddenly, they work the ball up forward. Beams got free on the wing in front of us. And he picked out the big man, and Fullerton could have gone on to Wooler, but thought, you know what, I'm here to kick goals, and that's what I'm going to do.
Took your advice, and it paid off for him. They're using the width, and they're using that run in, and he's got a few guys taking some pretty big marks for them. Before they had Ballenden take one, and then Fullerton's now getting involved. So that's really important to take those contested possessions, obviously, in the 50, especially when all the guys on the sideline are doing all the hard running for you. So up it goes. Ballenden, speaking of, is in there. Taps it down, but doesn't look like it's going to come out. Was it Sloan over the top of the ball there? No, it was not Sloan.
Corey Lyons.
Both long hair.
Wrapped up by O'Brien, has been everywhere.
So the ball gets cleared away by Uni. It's into a fair bit of space here. Here's a contest, or could have gone shoulder to shoulder, avoiding. It's picked up. Sloan wheels, gets away from one, gives a nice easy one off to Stackelberg. It's put out in front of Smith, who can't quite take it on the chest. And Uni will have a run. No, they won't. They'll have a turnover, and unfortunately it's dribbled out of bounds by a hand by Wooler. And to get involved. So in comes the umpire. There can't be much time left as 34 minutes has passed in this quarter. So imagine another goal here to take the lead by the line. She'll have to be quick though, as the ball comes in. Smith out in front, gets the tap in, very nicely done. Keys looks to set up an opponent. It's a lovely centering kick, can't be gathered, and Uni are back on the trot, but it's going to be turned over by way of Voss. Bit of pedigree in there. Voss looking out, sends it up. Hinge, and it's caught time. Shame, because he'd set up his teammate perfectly.
Just the clock beating the Lions there. Geez, we're set up for a great second half. It's half-time at Blacktown. Sydney Uni leading this one 7-7-49. The Lions 7-4-46. They kicked 6 goals to 3 in that quarter, the Lions. What does the second half of what's been a frantic game have to offer? Hope you're enjoying this one on NEFL TV. We're going to take a short break here and be back with a huge second half in the NEFL. It is Sydney Uni leading the Lions by 3 points. It's Sydney Uni leading the Brisbane Lions by 3 points here at Blacktown. Welcome back. Second half about a minute away. I'm Eddie Summerfield. I'm joined by Will Jackson in commentary this afternoon. Real frantic first half of football. Our goal kickers to half-time. Stevenson has 2 for the students, as does Lucy. Hiscox, Bonnie and Young also goal kickers. For the Lions, McFadden's got 2. Fullerton on debut. He's kicked 2 rippers. Ballenden, Sloan and Keys single goal kickers. Frantic first half of footy, as I said. Our major disposal winners up to half-time. Zach O'Brien, he's had 20. He's been absolutely everywhere in and under packs. He's been real good. Stevenson, he's kicked a couple of goals. He's had 15 touches, as has Allenson for the Lions. Keys has 15 as well. Hinge as well. Will, it's 3 points the difference. We saw the Lions kick 6 goals to 3 in that second quarter. Lots of missed opportunities for the students. How do you see the early stages of this third quarter unfolding?
Look, the Lions did really well to come back in that second quarter. I think you called it, and they just start to be a bit smarter in the way they set up around. I think the way the game's being played at the moment, a lot of running, a lot of going wide. I mean, eventually it's going to get to a point where someone's going to start to get tired, and I think that's where the game's going to be taken. So hopefully it doesn't close out like we've said, but I can see the Lions very much running this one now. They're a young, fit side and plenty of talent. Be very interesting to watch. It's been a cracking match so far, and I think we're all looking forward to the second half.
Both teams are trying not to lose this afternoon. Real vital games. Both teams needing to win. The Sydney Uni students, they're 4th coming into today, 8 and 4, desperate for a win. The Lions are 7th. They're outside the 6, 5 and 7. Hadn't had a win since May. Can they hit the front and take it on from here? As the ball's bounced in the middle, and we'll restart the second half in a minute. Bit of push and shove going on, but just as players came to their positions. So the students kicking to the left-hand side of your screen. Tagliabue copped a bit of a falcon as he fell on his arse, then got a handball out to O'Brien. His kick's partially smothered, and the Lions, they'll get the centre clearance once again. Handball over the top to the running player. Drop punt, good one, up forward, just outside forward 50. Ballenden looks around, kicks it to the top of the goal square. Poor choice, really. And it's turned over, and the students will look to move it out of defence.
On the way of Hebron. Hebron goes to the other side of the field, down left. Can't be taken, so ball's picked up, and Sydney will try to find a teammate. He does in Potter. Potter just chips it in ball along the ground. Tries to go back to him, but it goes out of bounds. So a little bit scrappy. Good start from the Lions. A couple of targets hit.
Real good pressure from Jacob Allenson. They're playing a tackle and ensuring the students couldn't quite clear it from defence.
So just wait for the ball to come in. Up it goes. And off they are. Smith taps it down before it's cleared away inside 50, straight into the path. Was it?
Pretty sure it's Fullerton looking to line up to kick his 3rd.
I definitely saw a 7 on the back.
I definitely saw a 4, so we'll go with Fullerton.
Lining up for his 3rd again. He kicked an early one last quarter. It's quiet in the first.
Kicked one from a similar spot last quarter.
The ball's up, long and far. Unfortunately, it's gone away to the right, so he's got 2 goals behind as well. But not a bad start for the Lions, as they got at least the first shot on goal. It's run out from defence by Uni. Down the side, Hebron under it. Couldn't get there, and it goes out into touch again. So a little less clean and sharp so far, but still very nascent in this 3rd term.
So ball tossed in. It's the Lions to the left-hand side of your screen on Neefel TV. Bar TV bringing you the pictures as it's tossed in. Students player at the front of the pack did well. They should clear from here, and they do. Handball came to the running O'Brien. Kick up the field, turned straight over, and the Lions got players across midfield. Ignored that, went long inside 50. 3-on-2 situation. Big fly from behind. Mark was spilled. Lions defence desperate to lock it in. Handball came out. The students will look to clear. Well done, Sirakowski. 2nd, 3rd, 4th effort, outstanding. Sold a bit of candy, then flicked it back to his teammate. He'll want it back over the top. He'd have to go back with the flight. Didn't on this occasion. Lions defence held up strong. Ball came to ground level, and the Lions defence again too good. as Fullerton flicks the handball back to Allison, and the kick comes high and long to half forward, and Tagliabue takes a strong mark.
The biggest man in the pack surprisingly takes the mark. Who would have thought? And gives a short handball away, sends it out. Can't get the mark. Smith almost caught between his legs and slapped into space. Looking for a teammate. Doesn't find one as Union, the students pick it up. A few players coming over the top. That's not going to be coming out anytime soon. And we'll go the Skies for a ball up. So again, each team a little bit more on edge right now as Tagliabue knocks it down to a couple of running teammates and cleared away. Looked to be O'Brien as Foster tries to run into it, but it can't be. Line sent towards their 50, but it's turned over by way of Hiscox. Hiscox inside, running is Stevenson. He's been active today and looks toward Reinhard, who can't be marked as it kicks over the top. Bastanak, he's been busy. Goes the dummy, almost is held, but continues his run. Second effort, gets it back and gives a nice short ball in. Misses Bailey, unselfishly lost, and Wooler up for a shot at goal. So another shot at goal going the way of the Lions. That discipline and decision making. Precise target hitting. I don't think he's may have had a shot on goal today, but hasn't managed to hit the scoreboard. This is his first real chance as Hebron stands on the mark. Have to hit this from 50. So in he comes, steady run up. It's off the boot quite well. It's going the wall, but doesn't get as far as Tagliabue. Larger target to get over the head of, and Uni will look to run it out.
So a couple of early opportunities in this second half for the Lions. Just a couple of behinds as Goulden kicked to himself, kicks it long and high. Big fly from behind, spilled by Hinge. Ball came out the back, keeping his feet, twisting, turning. Dawson just got his handball, came back to Wooler, kicked it high and long, half forward for the Lions. Can they keep it in here and get a shot away? Students' defence doing well. Came back to Wooler. Wooler flicked it via hand to Bell. Bell short to the pocket. Bit of holding going on. Umpire says, nah, let's throw it in.
Composure of Bell, but he sort of just stood on the spot, made a decision. Couldn't hit the target, but he did look very calm and collected.
So ball to be tossed in. Lions in attack. They trail this one by a point. Tossed in. Tagliabue won it down for the students. Now clear. Lucy taking a strong mark across half-back. Went to his running teammate. Short kick inside's good. Young couldn't mark it. The ball was at his feet. Lions a chance again. Students with numbers across half-back. Handball came to Barkley over the top. Frost is waiting for the footy. He'll dash off the line, then flick a handball into the middle of the ground. Taken to ground Fullerton. Students going inside 50 again. Came to Hiscox. He'll take her bounce to the Glebe Greyhound. Ran to 30. Drop punt on the way. Misses.
The other Joe the Goose over the top, just waiting in the square. Unfortunately, couldn't get it away. That's a bit of an opportunity gone missing. He'll be upset with the kick. He'll be upset with the decision, probably not to just dink it over the top. So Lions here with a chance to run it down the other side. Bell underneath it. Looks like he's run out of the square, so there's going to be a ball up at the top of the goal square. Really big mistake. It's confided by Frost, but could cost him.
So how are the students set up here? We've seen the Lions snag a couple of goals from similar kind of situations. Let's see if the students can do the same.
So it's up now. Marsh underneath. Look to have won it, but can't be grabbed cleanly. But the Lions come away with the ball. Target not found. Bell, Bonnie all underneath it. And Bell sees it out of bounds. We've got, looks to be a bit of a sore shoulder, perhaps a stinger. Ooh, hopefully it's only a stinger, but dislocated shoulder.
So
look away.
Students are in attack at the moment, just peppering their goal mouth. They lead this one by 2 points. Smith won it down. O'Brien laid the tackle for the students. Allison's underneath the pack and it will be tossed up.
The man coming off was Mitch Hinge, which is a shame. He was very damaging last week. Ball comes away by way of Coleman. Coleman can't take it. It's a bit of a costly mistake. The students looking, it's smothered, clashing of the legs.
Now the students players here, they're calling for out of bounds on the full because it came off Bell's boot. The boundary umpires called it touched because he wasn't sure where it came off. He went and double-checked with the field umpire. What did you see? He said, go with your gut, let's throw it in.
Hard one to read, and the speed that came out.
So a bit of push and shove still going on behind the footy. Bonnie and Coleman as it's tossed in. Tagliabue and Smith. Sorry, it was Marsh that won that one down for the students. Came out to O'Brien. Sell a bit of candy, then drop punt inside 50. Good kick. His teammate couldn't mark. Bonnie crumbed it, weaved around, put boot to ball to the top of the goal square, fisted away. They've got numbers here, the students, but running out of defence was Dawson. Just a clearing kick, looking for a teammate. Woolers there, Smith as well, and it will be tossed in on the students' forward flank.
I think Bonnie off the spin there went for goal. Managed to, unfortunately, just go the cross to a Lions man, but it would have been pretty spectacular if he'd gotten that one through. Instead, they'll have to set up and look to attack again, just outside their own 50. So as it comes in, the energy of the two ruckmen, it's won by the Lions, and on the ground, downfield it goes. Snapped over into the contest, can't be taken. Bell marching around, picked up. To be Beams, Sloan gets his hands on the pill, and inside running, slick bit of running and handball, and a nice kick just to top it all off. A higher ball comes up right in the path. Unfortunately, it was in the path of a Sydney Uni defender, and out they'll run by way of Hebron. Hebron looks and goes to Bartholomew's. A couple options, goes inside. So it's the way of Dimmery. Dimmery, nice kick. In it goes Goulden. Goulden gives the hand pass back off before a very quick in toward Lucy. Gunning in again. They're continuing their run. Stevenson just at the top of the 50. Kicks it just outside the square. Marked by Derricks. He's kicked a lot of goals this season. He's a great shot. And he'll look to add his first real impact to the game.
24 of them, in fact, leading goal kicker for the students this season. Didn't do a lot in the first half, it'd be fair to say. A couple of possessions across half forward. Hasn't had a shot yet. Should kick his first here.
It's been pretty well held, but for a man of his calibre, should knock this one through as he runs in. It's off the boot. He's unhappy with it. You can see that as it sails through to the right for a behind. And the ball's gone a long way as well. Have to get the fetcher dogs out to go and find that one.
About 10 minutes into this second half. Both teams, couple of shots, couple of gettable goals, but we've only seen behinds. It's the students leading by 3 points. Frost, the former Magpie, goes long with the kick. Geez, good mark and good use of the body there from the Lions. The ball will come short. That was Wooler. Had Coleman via hand, and they'll complete the cross out wide. Tough ball, back with the fight. Good mark taken. So the Lions up the ground. And that was Dawson kicking to Buick. So Buick looks further afield. Students have zoned off well here. Just put it long to half forward, under the shadow of the light tower. Ballenden copped a push. And the umpire saw it the same as me.
Big shove at that.
And he looks to the top of the goal square. He's got a couple of players leading. Beams at the top of the square, calling for it long. Players get back now. It's Ballenden. Geez, you heard the boom of the boot. Straight to the goal square. Beams underneath. Can't mark. Students' defence under pressure. Just trying to rush it through. Ball's wrapped up and it will be tossed up.
It was a pretty big kick, though. It wasn't like he was going for goal. It was in line. Another couple of metres and he was home, but instead, it's a fair bit of pressure. The ball's come up and slapped down by Marsh. Can't be taken. It's at ground level. It's quickly, hurriedly cleared away. That organised chaos looking a little less organised at the moment. It's players on top of the ball. That'll have to come up. Similar position just on the other side of the goal square is all. So let's see what they can make of this. Lions would love a goal here. Snuck the lead back, but it's picked up. Bird threw himself in before it's cleared away by the students, but straight into the path of the Lions. And will he back himself in from here?
It's going back to have a shot, so why wouldn't you as well? Perfect day for football, no wind. And it's Allison in possession. So the Lions need this to hit the lead.
Jacob Allison Starts his run. A few little short ones. Could have been thrown off by the instep, but it's up and away. And that's through. That is through, and that's a really great kick. Surprised they didn't rush him earlier, but all of a sudden they've taken the lead again after a pretty impressive kick from about 50 metres.
Beautiful kick of the footy, Allison. Took his time, took the mark. We saw him just go, no, you know what, not going to rush this, going to go back, take my 30 seconds and have a shot. Did that, took responsibility. First goal for the half going the way of the Lions. And for the first time since early stages of the first quarter, they've hit the front. It's a 3-point lead for the Lions. They haven't had a win since May. They're due. As the Students' month of irregular form looks to continue. Halfway through this third quarter, can they reply? As we give the signal to the umpire to put the ball into the turf. Tagliabue and Smith will resume battle. Smith a big jump, but Tagliabue won it down. O'Brien doing the tackling for the Students. Smith bent over, picked it up, got a handball out, and the Students will get the centre clearance through Bird. Inside 50. Oh, geez. Hiscox was taken to ground. Umpire let play go on. So it was Reinhard taken to ground, and the Lions will work a couple of handballs. Keys did well. Flicked it over the top to the running Bell. Wobbly kick to half forward. It's all right. Fisted away from Fullerton. Lions will try and keep it in. They do so nicely through Bailey. Then he steps out of play because he had nothing forward. It'll be tossed in on centre wing. Bit of heat down there on the bench.
Right onto the Astro turf, and Stevenson chops a little bunt. I think he was off when he did that as well. The ball come up right on about halfway. High up it goes. That battle, you'd say Tagliabue got the best of that one. It's come down. Students looking to get the ball out, but can't do so. And it'll go up again. The Rucks are going to have to try and get some cleaner hit-outs in the middle there, really unleash their running mids. There it goes. Tagliabue drops it behind him. Couple of players being held, Bailey included, but it's out through Lines into Keys. Keys gives it off by way of Mays. It's been dropped, but Coleman gets his hands on it before being bumped off, and a turn over to the Students. Bartholomew's gets hit pretty hard as it's turned back over. Bell and Buick involved. Bell getting back on the ball. Potter over the top. It's taken nicely. Bird gets the kick away. Are they going to call it deliberate? I mean, clearly didn't mean to do it, but I've seen stranger things, but no, he's using some sense, and they're just going to throw it in.
So on centre wing, Students just searching for that first goal for them for this third quarter.
Really rushed bit of play. A lot of people getting their hands on it in that short passage as up it goes again. Tapped down, shoved aside. Tagliabue did well. Hiscox involved. Potter shrugging players off. Doesn't go further than Coleman. Buick gets it out, and Smith struggling the tall frame to pick it up as he's drilled into the turf. Tagliabue trying to keep it in. It's still called in. He sends it up high into the sky towards inside 50, and it's punched away by Frost over the top of Jonathan Marsh.
Just saw the experience of Smith v Tagliabue. Tagliabue, a lot more senior footy, obviously, between the two of them, and he managed to pick the ball up at ground level on the boundary there, whereas Smith, the big fella, just couldn't quite find it, and he's had to run down to do the rucking duties in defence for the Lions.
More used to the bigger frame, perhaps.
So Marsh and Smith lock horns. Smith could have grabbed it out of the ruck. Umpire said no. Bird lays a tackle, as did Bartholomew's, and it will be tossed up. Students in attack. Haven't kicked a goal in 17 minutes of this quarter as Bird rushed a kick to the hot spot. Can they get a mark here? Good pressure from Potter. The Lions looking to clear it from defence. Bonnie around the corner, missing to the left. Another opportunity for Uni. 10th behind for the afternoon. Trailing by 2 points.
Seen a few of those crumb goals this afternoon, so no shock that Bonnie came away with it. So he goes the short kick to Clay Beams. And Beams will look to set up again. It's a lot of players down this end of the field. Bastanak will take it from Beams, and he'll send it laterally down the other end of the field. Picked up and goes high to try and create a bit of space for Dawson, his captain. Dawson showing, turning, not on the ball, and it's turned over pretty costly. Looks by the way of Bonnie, goes over the top. Nice defensive mark. Up they flew as Mays, but Mays has found his hands on it again. Will he get pinged? I'm so okay with it. This will be a ball up, though. There's plenty of pressure for the Lions defenders. They tried to kick their way out of trouble there, and costly turnover nearly led to a goal.
Geez, a missed opportunity, I feel, for the students then. 2-on-1 coming inside 50 as it's tossed up. 20 out from the students' goal. Lions will look to clear defensively. Rushing a kick, Buick. Kicked off the ground. Students a chance pressing forward. Beams was there. Handball will come out wide to Coleman. He'll clear defensive 50. Got a couple of players here. They'll use their body. Went over Wooler's head. Here go the Lions up the wing. Just stopping, propping as it came back to Wooler. Looks further afield. What does he have forward? Kicking it to the pocket and a bit of hit, kick and hope. Bell's there. Kept it in. Did well. Wooler kept running. He'll pick it up with one hand. He's tackled by two players. Hiscox rips his Guernsey off him. Umpire will bounce it 40 out from the Lions goal. Great work from Wooler running out of defence. 3 or 4 possessions up the wing. Just couldn't get free to kick what would have been one of the goals of the season. Tossed up. Tagliabue won it down for the students. Can they go end to end this time? Rushed kick. Stackelberg dived on top as well, and it will be tossed up.
That's great running from Wooler down the side there. Bell making the lead. Nice little inside ball. Didn't go straight to him, but at least he got a good bounce for it. Fortunately, he was clobbing in between the man sandwich. Tagliabue knocks it down, punched away by Beams, and off they go again. Stackelberg could have run the problems there. Mays goes for goal. It's searching. It's off the post. It was a nice looking kick. It had the right to left bend, but just couldn't scrape on through. So Uni again, they'll have to march this one out. They've done a good job today at finding each other on the field, so quietly back him in. So he goes to short. Goulden taps to himself, goes long, and there you go. Finds the target, the big man, Tagliabue, over the top. Sends it again. There's a good little run from Hayers. He'll chip out wide. Young's there, can't be taken, but they've still got possession, the students. Bartholomew's over him, into the hands of Bell. So Bell turns and looks. Allison kicked the goal before. Coleman could send it wide. They do through Bastanak. Bastanak has a look. He's got a runner in Mays. Decides to leave him. Goes long. Can't be taken. And the big men, Tagliabue, will take it. Bit of pressure from the defenders of the Lions. Comes over the top. You can't see it coming out, but it does. I'll eat my words. And out there it goes again. And this time, so it will not come out.
Geez, the Lions then, and the decision to go long to half forward, probably the wrong one. It had Beams on short.
And you had Mays there running through as well. But
tossed up. Here come the students out of defence. Long kick to the wing. 2-on-2. Foot race on. Who wants it? Buick got there first. Geez, how's the turn of pace? It was electric. Inside 52-on-1. Beautiful kick.
What a setup.
That is perfect football from the Lions out of defence. And they'll have a chance to kick their second of the quarter. And it'll be Corey Lyons having a shot. He's one of just 3 Lions players to play every game in the NEAFL this season. He's managed 5 goals from those 12 games. To give the Lions a 9-point advantage. This third quarter comes in, drop punt on the way. It won't have the carry as it's pushed across the face. Big fly, and it's eventually rushed through for a behind.
It's a shame he couldn't finish that off because, as you rightly described, it was electric from Buick. The turn, the kick in, hit him lace out, but students look to find their way out with O'Brien. Doing pretty well in the disposal count. They'll have to go long this time as he does towards the grandstand side of the field. Great mark from Reinhard. So Reinhard looking for a teammate. A few shorts. They're going to go to daring play. No, he opts to go down the sideline towards a pack. It was more of a one-on-one than a pack, and Young will try and get it from the bounce. It won't. Frost was on him. So it's starting to get a little bit tighter. They're finding it hard to hit a teammate, but both teams are still willing to take on the game and run a bit.
So students in attack, or kind of in attack. It's on their side of the wing. Tagliabue and Smith again lock horns. Smith won this one down. Buick gave off a bit of a high tackle. And it's well picked up by the umpire off the ball because the officiating umpire at the time was blindsided. And the free kick is taken by Stevenson. Just put it inside 50 to the hot spot. Beautiful kick I'd take that every day of the week if I was Jacob Derricks, and he'll be lining up for his first goal this afternoon and to give the students back the lead. Perfect kick inside 50 for the students through Stevenson. Been one of their better players this afternoon. And Derricks had a shot earlier this quarter and missed. Still hasn't kicked one this afternoon. Comes in, much needed goal for the students. As he snuck it in, he's missed.
He's got the jitters.
Another miss for Sydney Uni. Kicked just 3 goals since quarter time, the students. Kicked 3 goals, 7 in that time. And they trail this ball game by 3 points.
So the Lions, really long kick out from the goal square. Can't be marked. Looking over the top come the Lions. Uni there as well. A few hands try and grab it, but no one can take it cleanly. It does manage to pop up. A couple players around, charging through the middle. Come Brisbane. Brisbane on the attack here as it's laid out just outside 50. Over the top it went and sit in the hands. Poorly picked up by the students. Out it goes. Bit of effort from Sloan. Sloan finds a teammate and sends it in towards 50. That won't be marked either, but he does manage to run away with it cleanly. And the students this time will try and get themselves on the charge.
Oh.
Dangerous kick. Hebron was under immense pressure. It's turned over Bailey. Bailey looks, gives it over the top. It's now seeing here with Buick. He'll just stroll it into the goal square onto his left and extend their lead.
Geez, it was take your pick for the Lions. They're not too sure what was happening with the students' defenders. They had 4 players they could have raffled it between in the goal square. And it was Buick who said, I'm going to kick my first for the afternoon.
It was pandemonium of the positive kind. It's the way you'd like it on the attack, isn't it? But for Sydney, they've got a bit of thinking to do about how they're going to quell this momentum, because the Lions are really starting to take the game on. And when they do get out and run, they seem to appear to be pretty damaging.
I feel like the students, that's how they were playing in the first quarter. Perhaps they've just gone back into their shell a lot. They haven't had that run and carry that we saw so well off the half-back flank in that first quarter. Set up so many of their goals. They need one now. They haven't scored one in this third quarter, but it'll be the Lions out of the middle again. And it is Fullerton. We saw him kick a long goal in that second quarter. This time goes to a pack. Big fly. Ball spilled to ground level. Here's Bartholomew's. He can run and carry a bit. He went to Stevenson. Then they went back by hand again. They'll look to get a bit of this run going. Reinhard marks. And Bell came quickly and stood on the mark so he couldn't take off. Short one. They've kept going here, the students. Good tackling pressure from the Lions. How the umpires see it. Not quite a turnover. Free kick. And it's going... Oh, geez, it's
Bit
on
of
here.
Bargy. Someone said something or done something that's...
The free kick's going to go the way of the students. The umpire's called play on. There's about 20 Lions players just wrestling with 2 or 3 students. So Reinhardt underneath it. Here's a chance for Sydney Uni. Kicking from Crockmore inside 50, but it's turnover. Poor kick, and the mark is well taken by Hinge. He goes short to the skipper in Dawson, who found Buick. So Buick looks further afield. Just sees a wall of yellow and blue.
Perhaps could have gone down the wing there to Fulton, but decides to perfectly set up Sloan. So Sloan will take his time. He senses there aren't too many options. It's a nice kick. The defender didn't know it was coming. Lovely pick up off the bounce. He's in acres of space. He's Bailey. And again, for the second time in a row, a goal is just strolled into the goal square. And the lead increases ever more so.
Jeez, they're frazzled at the moment, the students. The Lions have had all of the answers this quarter. They've had players running free loose there. That was great work from Bailey. Saw the play unfold, realised didn't have anyone within cooey of him, ran to the top of the goal square and able to get the pass from his teammate and kick the simplest of goals.
Yep. Throughout the turbulence of it all, it seems the Lions are the cooler pilots in the academy.
Thanks, Maverick.
You're welcome, Goose.
So ball back in the middle. Students goalless in this quarter. They need a win this afternoon as it's tossed up in the middle. They get the clearance this time inside 50. Oh, Reinhard dropped the mark. Lions defender picked well. Reinhard's second effort was good. Put it on his left boot to the hot spot. Who's there? Marsh is, but the Lions have numbers. Ball bouncing. Geez, it went out the back. Marsh flicked the handball back. Bonnie around the corner. Touched off the boot. It's a behind. They can't buy a trick at the moment, the students.
Really hard done by Marsh. The big man did well to put it inside. Contest here with Bird and Keys going at it, toe for toe. Bit of cavalry arriving. Keys goes to the soccer option, but it's turned over to the Lions. So Lions looking to march it out, leading in front of the students. It's on the far side of the ground now, and crushing over the top comes defence to slow things and quell that momentum. Real shame about that. It was a lovely finish from Bonnie. He was quick as a flash, but the defence was quicker, unfortunately. We'll see what they can do here as the ball comes up. Tagliabue taps it straight into Young, who wheels around, plenty of space. Has a look, it's taken comfortably by Unis, calling him in. Up it goes, fly, outside the top square. Not marked. Oh, a bit of a loose footing for Bonnie. Goes the big snap. He hit one in from before. On the snap, unfortunately, it's just gone wide to the left. Looked pretty good off the boot, but wrong side for that type of snap, I suppose.
9 of their last 13 scoring shots, Sydney Uni behinds. It's the Lions leading this one by 13 points. They run it out of defence. Smith lost his opponent, couldn't quite mark on the second effort. Eventually did his own crumbing, high to half forward. Who wants it? It could bring rain. Stevenson there off hands. Students pressing forward. Sloan courageous, back with the fight. Voss is there as well as it came back to Allison. Allison handballing through midfield. Have a look at the Lions set up here. The running Wool good. Inside 50. Keys in the end of it. Couldn't mark. He'll get it on the bounce. They'll have to rush his kick. Got it dribbling towards the top of the goal square. Can they snaffle one off the ground here, the Lions? The students' defenders desperate. Handball came out the back and they'll look to clear through Sierakowski.
So on come the attack. They're still under some pressure here. Sydney Uni, Lions fighting for it. Sloan on the ground. Looked like a bit of a hard hit coming in late, but umpires see no problem. And we'll let the game continue. That was some electric stuff down there. It was diving defence. Could have gone Ori, dropping off his feet. We'll see how he continues here.
There's a Sydney Uni player down, just catching his breath. Gets to his feet now.
He'll try and walk it off into the jog. I think he'll be all right. So he'll make his way back as the umpire.
It's Jacob Derrick's the man. He's up and about now.
So it's cleared away. Not to anyone particular, but still going the way of the Lions. Inside their own 50 here. Nice wheel. Gives the ball out and does find a teammate. As it's sent up high up in the air. Lions really, really strong mark.
Ballenden, the clean hands again. He's taken several contested marks this afternoon.
He has gotten the goal from one, so this will be probably a tougher one to score.
Real tight in the pocket there. He kicked 10 goals for the season, well 11 including his one earlier. Tough pocket though there, but no wind to speak of. Does he go the nana or the drop punt?
I think he's going to go the drop punt. Let's see what he decides. Goes check side, kicks on its way, but it's come around too quickly and it's gone for a behind. Not a bad attempt though, bit of creativity from Ballenden after a pretty spectacular mark.
So they got a 14-point lead, the Lions. They led by that much last week and lost. Quarter of footy to play and time in this third quarter. Long clearing kick out of defence. Siren sounds for three-quarter time as players just come in, shake each other's hands and hair, and then they'll go off to their respective huddles. We're in for a great last quarter here as Foster just niggling a few of the Lions players. Tom Bell in there giving a bit of lift back as well for Brisbane. They're still going at it. Geez, can't wait to see them clash in the final quarter. We'll take a break here from Blacktown. It is Brisbane leading Sydney Uni, who were goalless in that third quarter. 10-9-69, Uni 7-13-55. 14-point lead the way of the Lions. 14 points the margin here at Blacktown. It is Brisbane Lions leading Sydney Uni. Just as players make their way back to their positions, a couple of the key possession winners, 2-3-quarter time. Zach O'Brien for Sydney Uni, he's had 30. Lewis Stevenson, he's had 26. For the Lions, Allison's had 22, as has Keys. Bell with 20. I'm Eddie Summerfield. I'm with Will Jackson. This is going to set up to be a great last quarter, Will.
It is a fantastic match so far, and the score shows a 3-goal difference, a little more, but Sydney aren't necessarily doing anything wrong. They've just had a few hard misses and one unfortunate last-minute finger, so that's all they can make of it in this final term.
They didn't kick a goal in that third quarter, Sydney Uni. They'll need the first here, but Brisbane last week, they led by 14 points in the last quarter and lost in a thriller against Southport. It's Uni who get the first clearance in this last quarter at Blacktown. They're kicking to the left-hand side of your screen. Lions defence under instant pressure. Came out to Lucy. Lucy involved in a couple of scoring plays in the first half as it spills to Hiscox. Beautiful snap around the body. How the footy bounce. Frost running back hard to ensure it's a behind. They've had plenty of it behinds in this match, Uni. And they stem the margin to 13 points.
Another drop in the ocean. Coleman under pressure. Came from behind, was Young. Picked up by the students, though. They got a chance to get this out. Immense pressure. The defence and the hit, they're going to call it high, it's looking like. And he has. So, on the turn of it all, it's going to be Foster who's going to have a chance to have a shot at goal and hopefully getting them back onto the goal-scoring sheet.
Now, we saw it three-quarter time. Foster and... Oh, here we go.
He's unloaded to Goulden, he came in as, I suppose, the long kick, but he's just sort of skewered that along the ground, unfortunately.
I was about to say, we saw Foster and Bell just giving each other a bit of lip going into three-quarter time. And who was in Foster's ear as he was looking to set up then? It was Bell. As the Lions bring it in, geez, another crunching tackle. Ball spills free. Students half-forward flank. This time tackling was Smith. Ball at ground level. Coleman went in to pick it up one-handed. Couldn't quite. Sloan went an underground handball backwards. Good towards Bailey. Just working it out by hand at the moment. Brisbane out of defence. It will work. Long kick the way of Wooler. Couldn't mark. Goulden was there as well for Sydney Uni. Smith overran it, the big fella. On hands and knees, Stevenson gave it to Bird. Oh, give and go was lovely from Barton, the skipper, inside 50. Good kick. And Uni will have a shot. There's a couple of players down off play. And it will be Austin Lucy, who kicked 2 goals in the first half. And it's 2 Sydney Uni players just down off screen. To the left of screen as Lucy lines up to bring the margin back to 1 straight kick. Begins his approach. Lucy drop punt. He's a good kick most of the time. That one's bending through. It's back to a 6-point ball game here at Blacktown. Students have their first goal through Austin Lucy since the second quarter. And as we mentioned while Lucy was lining up for goal, a couple of Students players down. Jake Bartholomew's the sole player down at the moment. The other one was Foster. He's up and about and back to position.
He wouldn't want to go off. He wants to go back out there and give Bell a bit more lip, I think.
But Bartholomew's the Rising Star nomination from round 14 in the NEAFL.
Lucy did well there. And they need someone to step up, and like he did in the first quarter, he's jumped up. If he has a quarter like he did in the first, perhaps he could turn the tide of this game and swing the momentum the way of Sydney Uni.
So Bartholomew's back up and standing and on the way to the bench.
So the ball's come up and it's spilt out loose. Lions look to gather, but it's been turned over by way of Lucy, the goal scorer. Finds Bird, the teammate. He kicks it, but spills out uncomfortably, and turning was Lucy once again to Bird. They're just trading blows, but it's turned over by way of the Lions. Hebron underneath it, looking to spoil, but doesn't quite do so, and Lions will look to charge down. Looks by the way of Bailey, dragged to the ground, but still got players running. Ballenden, lovely searching kick to his target. And here's a big wheel. Tries to give the handboard. May have ran a bit far. Bit of shouts from the crowd to indicate. Uni, bit of pressure as it drops down. Hebron looking to get out of the way of Wooler and kicks uncomfortably again to...
Oh, that's so easy.
Smith, a lateral kick. He was there on his own, the biggest bloke for the Lions. He gives a hand pass off to a feisty a kick. It's not going to make it, and it's marked behind the goals, though, by O'Brien. Won't count for another disposal.
Allison, the big booming kick there, kicked a beautiful goal in that third quarter. As the Students now, their defence under pressure. They'll just look to use a couple of short kicks to clear defence. In the pocket at the moment, Hebron just goes with a long, high one to half-back. Who wants it? Bell flew with a flying fist. His teammate Allison at the ground of the footy as it's built out to Bell, but it will be tossed up on the half-forward flank for Brisbane. Leading this one by 7 points. Hope you'd enjoyed this one so far on NEFL TV. We're in for a grandstand finish by the looks of things as the Students bring it through the midfield. A couple of handballs came out to Foster. Foster short. Bonnie can go to the running Young. Young can turn and go if he wants. Elects to give it off to hand to Stevenson. Low kick to the goal square. Offline, and it will go out of play. Assisted that way by Skinner.
It's almost gone in favour of the Students there,
Yeah.
but let that run through from behind. Instead, they're going to have to quell the defence here of the Sydney Uni attack. So Uni will be desperate to get one. If they can score here, they're only trailing by 1. As the ball comes up high, the rucks go in. Tulliabu wins that down as he was needed, and a couple of Lions players come to wrap up the Students. So it's a little bit tighter, but as you can imagine, at this part of the field, it's always going to be. Up it goes again. Tulliabu gets a hand free, cleared away by Smith. Down it goes, and a clearance straight in the hands of Goulden. So Goulden seems to be trailing back. Look, he takes their kick out, so he's got a boot on him.
He's kicked just the 2 goals from his 11 games this season, Goulden.
Always hard to do it full back, of course, but
Well, as a defender, if you go forward, you tend to want to kick a goal.
let's hope he's kept in mind where the mark is. It's going. It will make the distance, but it's just not going to get the accuracy as Goulden pushes it out to the right.
Back to the back line, mate. So the Lions, they'll look to bring it in. It's a 6-point ball game. Short kick, didn't go the 15 according to the umpire, so he'll have to go Bastanak. Short one was good, and it found Lions. So Lions looks forward. Umpire called him to play on now. Goes short to Frost. Frost can come out wide if he's quick. He's got Skinner on. Goes further afield. Reinhardt's underneath it. Should mark. He can go here, Reinhardt. Well, there's a free kick for a push in the contest. Crowd not a fan of it. And the free kick's going to go the way of Zach Bailey. So, bit fortunate from that one, the Lions. He goes looking for Smith. Coming back with the fight. Smith used his body well. Beams there. Boundary line as well. And it will be tossed in.
Harsh call there on Hebron. It didn't. From up here, we couldn't see it, but I think the umpires have a better view of it down there. So, well, they thought they were going to have a little runaway in the piece of action. Instead, they're getting a throw in, and up it flies. Smith gets the superior position, throws it down basically to himself as he chips it up high into the air. There's a player underneath it. Can't be marked, unfortunately. Stackelberg, even if he had grabbed it, he was out. So they'll toss it in again. No, they won't.
It's on the full.
Yeah, it'll be a kick to well, it won't be O'Brien. He's handed off himself to Dimmery. So Dimmery here. A lot of people yelling at him. And he finds a nice kick to Young. Great lead and a good decision. Young wheels, turns, kicks it towards the 50, won't quite go into it. Attacking for Sydney Uni here. Bonnie will run onto it. He's got a bit of room, goes for the wheel. The Potter, was he expecting it? Check side onto the left. He can't quite get it in. It's faded around to the left of the goalpost, and that's hard for them as they play it out, the Lions.
I backed Bonnie in 9 days out of the 7 to go and have a shot from that situation. Instead, got caught doing the team thing once again. As the high left foot kick from the Lions defender, it will get to the wing, but waiting out the back's Young. He's wrapped up in a tackle, and it will be tossed in. Apologies, not Young at the fall of that. And it's going to be tossed up on the wing. Underneath it was Crockmore. He was the player tackled. So tossed up. Lions ruckman won it down. Bastanak was waiting. Went to the running Buick. High one to half forward. Underneath it Bartholomew's. Good to see him back out there after being taken off before. And it's fisted away from him out of play. So key moment in the game here. 5-point lead the way of the Lions. You feel if the Lions can get the next one, they might be able to stop this run of momentum that you feel is currently going the way of the Students.
Next score is really big. Brisbane led at this point in the game last week against Southport and lost it. Beams wheeled around, sent towards 50. Smith coming through, couldn't take it. Hebron doesn't manage to hold it either, but it's going to be run out comfortably by Barton. Puts it over the top. He's got plenty of run left. Down the side he goes and sends it, hits a teammate very nicely, does he? And Stevenson trying to shug his teammate off because there's a man open in this 50, but he can't find him. But Bonnie looks, Bird lines up, goes to the chip instead, also doesn't hit a teammate on the full. There's a player running in. Who else but Lucy as he kicks it, but he's missed. From that distance, when they so desperately need a goal, Lucy, who's been so clinical all game, can't seem to add on to it.
Yes, the Students, they had 6 players out free. Then the Lions defence didn't know where to go. They were outnumbered and only a behind as the kick came the way. Wooler, man in front. I've really liked his second half today as the Lions run it out of defence. Went over the head there of Stackelberg. Didn't matter. He had a teammate there in McFadden. Kicked a couple of goals in the second quarter. His kick's turned over and the mark's taken by Hebron. In front of Beams. He'll go through midfield. Bounced on a good length. Lions defender there attacked it. As Frost bent down to pick it up. Could have copped one high. Umpire said no. Bird cut it off. He lost it. Just bashes it forward. Reinhardt high up and under kick to the hot spot. Who wants a big fly from behind? Couldn't be marked. Lions defence just trying to work it out. And umpire circles and will be tossed up.
Big bit of play. Both teams working so hard. Hebron did really well to mark that and stop it. If he didn't catch that cleanly, which there's been a few spills today, that could have been real trouble. But instead they find themselves about 35 hours. The ball comes up and it's tapped down by the way of the Students, but not another player coming through. It's going to be a second one. No.
It's going to be a Students free kick here. Picked up by the other umpire off play. So this is a big moment. Could have been a high one in the stoppage.
It's almost deja vu. Similar kick last week when the Lions played Southport and Southport needed someone to step up. They did, and fortunately one of the lost, though. They'll be reminded of that as he comes in. Swing goes. Demery.
Just started in his approach towards goal then, Demery.
Didn't look confident as he came in.
So 4-point ball game at the moment. 12 gone, final quarter. Lions out of defence. Went over the head of Keys as he looked into the sun. And it is Stevenson who takes a good mark. Banged it inside 50. Derrick's the target. Couldn't quite mark on this occasion. Lions defence just picked it up, looked for the boundary line, and it will be tossed in. I wonder at what point the Lions players are starting to think about last week. Thinking about, geez, we can't let that happen again.
You'd hope they'd be so focused they're not thinking about it, because it could certainly get to them psychologically, but we'll see what they make of it. They're still under pressure here inside the attacking Sydney 50. It goes up. Neither ruckman, pardon me, they do get a hand on it as it's cleared away and caught. May not have been 15, a few shouts for it, but Bell will take it every day of the week and kicks laterally. Down and chip over the top. They're going to use the width. Sloan sends it long. They're just at halfway here, the Lions, looking to turn things around and perhaps kick a goal. They're all leading by 3 points.
So Wooler with it on the wing. He'll put it on his right boot, high to half forward. Pack of players underneath it. Couldn't quite mark. Beams looking for the boundary line. It then keeps it in. Oh, Marsh just took it out of play. And the umpire will toss it in.
They've got a bit more work to do here, the Students, so they thought they might be attacking with a goal of their own. And now find them on the defensive part. So the arm's gone down, up and over, and the ball's come in. Doing battle is Marsh. It's cleared away by Brisbane, and is it marked? No, it's not. Bailey's not counted, as it's picked up quickly by the Students, but it's going to be held up. But again, it's becoming more and more congested. Both desperate. Dawson over the top there in the tackle. And could there be a Crummers goal here for the Lions?
Tossed up, 3 points the margin. Smith won it down. Geez, great pick up by Keys. Bent around on the left boot. Umpire underneath it. Bouncing through. Was it touched?
It was touched.
It was.
Hebron, who's been so active today. Now he's not giving up at all. They got penalised for stepping out of the goal square, so he didn't do it that time. And sends a nice kick towards the top of the 50. As he looks back and tries to find a teammate. Had a couple of options, but ignored Stevenson. Went the way of Lucy, but it's turned over through Coleman. Coleman gets out to Keys. Keys over Sloan. Back to Coleman. Coleman wheels and chips one over. It does manage to hit. So you wouldn't back him in from here. No other runners.
Oh, Bell goes short to Beams. Beautiful.
He's about the similar distance anyway, but perhaps the bigger kick.
Just kicked the one behind so far today, Beams. Kicked 11 goals in his 10 games. So known goal kicker for the Lions to take it out to a 10-point ball game.
Tied Stackelberg running off to give Bastanak another run out in the paddock. In comes the kick from Beams, 50. He's got a fair bit of knock onto it. It's off the post. And is that the bit of breath of life into Sydney Uni? Can they turn it around and make an assault and regather this lead? So we're 15 minutes into the final term. Kicks it up to himself. They'll go run. Hayres sends it long down the far side of the field. Couple fly. Marsh finds it. Not sure he knew what to do with it, but goes again by way of hand and finds a teammate comfortably by foot. He has a look. There's plenty of students flooding into the 50. Over goes Hayres. Can't be taken. Yes, it is. He's paid the mark. Lions thought he could just run away from there, but it was pulled back. Puts Hebron under pressure. Hebron under immense pressure. Bailey there. Here he goes, trying to fish his way out of trouble.
Oh, a free kick there. Hebron did well as the students look to run on. Short kick forwards a ripper. They look forward here. Bonnie just wheels around on his right. Goes long to the hot spot. Packer plays. Lions defence in front. Ball spilled free at ground level. Can't get a tick. That's holding the ball.
He very nearly got the kick away, but that...
Coleman, the tackler, outstanding. So he'll just slow things down and look to shore it up as the Lions look to clear defence. Just Derek said, didn't realise he didn't have enough time. As the Lions just slowing it down, they're leading this one by 5 points. Short kick finds Mays, so looking for the right way out of defence. Short again over the top is good. So poor marking from the students. Got to be one-on-one here. Force a turnover. No more easy kicks. They're the #1 short kick team in the competition, the Lions. And you can see why from this. Just chipping it around. Here's the mistake. What can the students do? What sort of pressure do they have? Not enough as the Lions work a couple of handballs back. And then they'll get the clearing kick to the wing. Packer players waiting in front of it was Keys. Player came through as well. Handball goes midfield. Buick. They keep going here, the Lions. Long kick down in the goal square. Bailey's there. Will he get the favourable bounce? No. Barton with him. He's taxed by Bailey. How the umpire see it. Holding the man. So they're off the hook here, the students, and Barton will have a chance to clear it from defence.
Enormous pressure there, but they've managed to quell it and have a chance to run it again through Goulden towards the top. Bit of pressure here. Can't be taken by Foster. And down it goes. He'll look to pick it up and defend. Little show. Gets it out. Smith gives it to Beams. Beams nearly runs into trouble, but Bell is out in the pocket. Will he go for the snap? No. He's brought out into touch by Potter as they continue to work hard, the Sydney defence. At that level of, we've said a few times, it's frantic out there once again. It's almost picked up a notch as we go further into this final term. Attacking Lions throw in here.
There's a free kick here. It's going to go the way of the students. I think it could have been language because I don't think too many players were feeling each other out.
They've been given their chances here,
and it's going to be 50 as well. Geez, that's undisciplined. Not sure who by, so we won't name any names.
Once again, they get They've been given the lifelines here, the students, but it's up to them to capitalise.
So the students here, they've got players running defensively back to the goal square. That's a kick away, I know, but now it goes inside their forward 50. Geez, they went in hard there. Key's the man for the Lions. Derricks couldn't quite find it. Sorry, that's Lucy. There's a free kick. It's going to go the way of the students for a push.
It's just getting a bit more argy-bargy,
So
isn't
if he
it?
turns around quickly, he had two on one in the goal square, but he's going to go long and have a shot. Lockie Harris hasn't kicked a goal for the season. So this is his moment to shine. They trail by 5 points. 19 and a half gone, final quarter. Looking to put a bit of life back into their season for the students. Harris comes in, drop punt on the way. He still hasn't got his first goal for the year. Back to 4 points.
Hard going there. They've had a few shots from in front, longer distances, but haven't converted. There's still a bit of push and shove going. Daring play out of defence, but does manage to find teammate Allison. Allison will go long by way of Lions. Lions just outside the 50. Leading was Keys, but he's ignored. And lovely kick down the line. Fullerton has kicked a couple of goals. This one late in the half. So Fullerton has a look up and decides the pack is the option. Over it goes. Smith's brought out of the contest. Big fist into touch.
8 goals, 20, Sydney Uni. 20 behinds. They've kicked 1 goal since half-time. And they've kicked 13 behinds in that same period of time. They trail this one by 4 points. Ball tossed in. Smith won it down. Keys was there. He lost the handle on it. He's got Buick running out wide. That was a throw. Umpire blindsided. O'Brien picked it up as he's done all day. Bit of candy was good from Sloan. He can work the 1-2. Keys there as well. Ballenden the target over his head. Bailey there too. Students with numbers at ground level. What can they muster here? Oh, going forward. Wooler will run into an open goal and give the Lions a 10-point lead. Perfect setup there from Brisbane going forward. Players running it towards the goal mouth. Wooler, right spot, right time again. Been really good this afternoon and kicked his first goal to extend this lead to 10 points.
The match is far from over. There's still a bit of time left. Only 2 scores will do it, but will this be the one that got away for Sydney Uni with that lopsided behind to goal count?
28 scoring shots to 23, and it's the 23 scoring shots leading this with the Lions by 10 points.
The ball in the middle now. Banged into the turf, it's gone up, and Smith and Tallyview do contest again. It's tapped out by direction of the Lions. Not picked up cleanly, so Uni will have a chance to regather and go. Trying to mark was Lucy. Manages to get it off to a teammate by Bird. Bird goes over top. Potter's there, and Potter's right in front. And you'd think it's a great chance, but they've had a few from around here which they haven't been able to convert. So Potter this time to get his team back.
Geez, you take the responsibility, don't you? Any player out there, any of the 18 on the field, you take a mark this distance, this angle, you kick a goal.
There's only one option here for Potter as the kick's on its way. And it's these. They can feel that. Look at the teammates yell, clap, cheer, and get around him. Vital kick at this stage of the match. Brings them back within 4. And they just get the sniff. The intensity's picked up. Plenty of feeling in it. Or feeling their 16-year-old's diary, you might say. It's plenty of action. I expect to see a bit more physicality between the two sides.
So the Lions, they broke a run of no goals from either side. That we played about 15 minutes of intense footy. And the students got the answer straight back. It's 4 points. Ball back in the middle. Lions searching for their 6th win of the season. They haven't had a win since May. 4-point lead at the moment. Can they hold on? Will they have victory snatched away from them 2 weeks running? Tagliabue won that one down. Keys is there for the Lions. He's wrapped up in a tackle, just got his kick. Ball bouncing, good use of the body. McFadden's there, but it couldn't quite run away with it. Bird got the kick forward for the students. Who wants to mark? Frost flew high, got a fist to it. Lions are under immense pressure as it comes back to Frost. Cool in this situation. Put it on his right boot. Inboard. Risky kick, but it pays off. Bastanak takes a strong mark.
Wonderful mark from Bastanak. Decides to nearly gives it to the runner there, but decides to go long by foot.
It
lobbed over the top. They're going to get a bit of run on here. He's just from outside 50. It's put up high. There's a one-on-one. It's a really big time for a mark. Can't be taken, and Uni will have to run it out because it's still by way. So Stevenson sends it far, just outside 50, and a good mark just in. So Craig Bird, he has a run, gives it to Hebron. Hebron has a dodgy bounce. Thankfully, the opponent didn't know he was going to do it either, and sends a lofty kick inside to
Harris. So ball comes across. Stevenson, the target, been good across half-back today. Real smart decision maker and user of the footy. Slows things down. He's got Hiscox on the wing in front of us here, but he goes longer to the ruckman. Tagliabue went over his and Smith's head. They bash it forward. Hiscox is running alongside. Buick bent over, picked it up for the Lions. Geez, he got away from the tackler, then dished it off to Sloan. Have a look at all the space in front of him. He's got so much time. Then he goes over the top to McFadden. He's called to play on. So what will he do here? He'll run around the player on the mark. Goes short. Geez, they're chipping this beautifully, the Lions, as Clay Beams has got it. He'll run to 55, put it in short. Beautiful kick. And the mark's taken by Ballenden. So Ballenden, tight in the pocket. It's a 4-point lead the way of the Lions.
Get a kick from around here in the third quarter. He went check side. Interesting to see what he decides to do on this one.
So Ballenden comes in. Kicked 1 goal, 1 this afternoon. Sets up. Drop punt, the kick of choice this time. What a beauty! Across the face, but the mark's taken. Was it across the goal line? No. It's McFadden in the pocket. Now, if he was anything like me as a youngster, you practice these ones all day to try and get a check side through. He's just taking his time. Kicked 2 goals for the Lions in the first half. To give it a 10-point lead for the Lions. Runs around and it's gone through. It's a 10-point lead for the Lions. Surely this is the week that they'll snap their 6-game losing streak and return to the winners list. McFadden kicks his third.
All that check side practice as a youngster has paid off late in the final term to extend that lead. And you'd want to say a comfortable margin, but we know how quick this competition is and how fast they get the ball from one end to the other, so it's far from over. But we'll give the Lions a bit of wind under their feathers. So we wait the bounce.
They're throwing a loose man back now, the Lions, and that will be Clay Beams.
So up it goes. They don't go for the bounce, and Smith wins it, and they quickly lost. O'Brien tried to tap it over in the way of Stevenson, it looks. No, it was Goulden. Goulden launches, but it's away to the right, and so down the full it was. So Frost has ball in hand, and he's not going to be in any rush to kick this one. So it goes nice and high, outside 50. Flying were a pack. It's rolled over and still under huge pressure. The Lions is gathered again by the students across the face, which looked like a shot at goal that perhaps just went awry.
Just didn't quite get the connection he wanted then, Stevenson, did he?
If there was ever a time to be a hero.
So ball to be tossed in. Students in attack. They need a goal and they need it quickly. They trail this one by 10 points. Tossed in. Smith won it down, slapped off his hands. She's coming through hard was Buick. Put it on boot to ball, bouncing one. It's an ugly one. McFadden was there, tapped it over the top. Ball going forward, foot race on. Hebron overran it. Great use of the body. Desperation from McFadden. Could have been a push. He picked it up and dished it back to Ballenden. Inside 50. Who wants it? Bailey's there. 1-on-2 situation. Kept the footy in front of himself. Did well. Pressure good from the students. Bell was there. Handball to Keys. Vacant goal square. How the footy bounced. Bouncing towards goal. Did he get boot to ball as he gave himself a wedgie, McFadden? No.
cleaned up aggressively. Even the Sydney wastes no time in clearing it out, but can't find a teammate. It'll be picked up by the Lions here. And he looks, and they'll just play it backwards into safety by the way of Allison. Allison will take a look up. He's just shy of halfway here and runs in. Goes by foot down the sideline. No mark to be made. Awkward bounce. But awkwardly it bounces out of bounds. As time keeps ticking, 29 minutes gone. You wonder about how much time the students have left to counter this. Ball looks to be thrown in. The two big men continue their battle. Which has been emphatic all day. It's on the side. Taliebu gets a big close mid onto it as they come charging through the middle. He's got a few people to get out of the way of. Bird sends it up high. Not a bad kick at the top of 50 to Stevenson. Don't think he'll have the distance. He's got a man in the goal square leading. Still coming, Derricks.
He's got to go, doesn't he? Can't waste any time.
He's going to have to back himself in from here. He does. It's a long kick, but it's looking to be going left. And it is. It's sailed left for a behind. And the margin's back to 10. Just about half an hour gone.
So short kick in for the Lions. They will be taking every second off the clock here they can. Bastanak, the short one, was good. As it finds Lions. Lions drop punt to clear defence. There'll be two kicks away now, the students at the fall of it, but Keys was waiting. He can take a bounce, but elects not to. The running Buick's with him. He can take a bounce, but he elects not to. Sweeping handball to Stackelberg. Kick gives it to the running Ballenden. Ballenden from the pocket. Drop punt to seal the deal. Misses to the left. So back to 11 points.
And that would have been the final nail in the coffin, but they've got one last lifeline to the students. Dimmery with the ball, just going to march it out of his own 50. He sends a long one over the top. Can't be picked up. Well, it is picked up. Unfortunately, it's by a Lion who slaps it away quickly. Dimmery's got more work to do defensively this time. It's pulled down. Lurking there was Wooler, but it's going to be coming up. O'Brien was over the top. We know how active he's been. Covered every blade of grass here this afternoon. And so we just await the toss. And there it is. Taliebu knocks it down, come charging through the middle. Bastanak. It's going to fall on deaf hands as it's launched towards goal.
What a win for the Lions. They hold on. First time they've tasted victory since May, snapping an 6-game losing streak. And that is a fantastic effort from them. 14-point winners this afternoon. 11-point winners, 12-14, 86. This is the story of the day. 9 goals, 21, 75 Sydney Uni. What a fantastic game of football, Will. What did you make of it?
Oh, look, credit all goes to the Lions. They were clinical when it mattered. They took their chances and they ran out the game. Sydney, unfortunately, will look at this as the one that got away. Like we said before, it was just a matter of no one stepping up in front of goal when push came to shove. So great job by the Lions. Well-deserved win. And Sydney will lick their wounds and look to bounce back for the week after.
So the Brisbane Lions, they record their 6th win of the season, keeping them in touch with the top 6. Next week, they'll face the Giants before playing Gold Coast and Sydney. Sydney Uni, well, they'll be asking questions. What went wrong? They'll face the ladder-leading Southport in what will be a cracking game next weekend. Then GWS and Redland. Hope you've enjoyed the action today on NEFL TV. Thanks to the team at Bar TV again. Outstanding. At Blacktown, Will Jackson, thanks for your company this afternoon.
Always a pleasure, Eddie. Thank you very much for having me once again.
It's been the Brisbane Lions recording their first win since the month of May, running out 11-point winners. 12 goals, 14, 86. Sydney Uni, 9, 21, 75.